Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Upper St. Clair Panther Stadium for a big one tonight, a rivalry matchup where the Panthers of Upper St. Clair will face the Peters Township Indians from just down Route 19. I am very fortunate tonight to have a distinguished guest beside me, class of 2014, Upper St. Clair Panther legend, Morgan Lee. Morgan, thanks for joining me tonight.
Absolutely, Gav. Thanks so much. It's really great to be back, and couldn't ask for a better night to play some South Hills football.
Yeah, well, South Hills football is a good way to describe it. For years, Upper St. Clair was the champ, the top dog in the South. Well, the power has shifted a little bit over the past couple years. Peters had never beaten Upper St. Clair, but they've won 2 in a row. They've been to the Whippeal Final in 5A the last 2 years. And Upper St. Clair sort of sits at a bit of a crossroads right now, sitting at 2-3, and this is a big game for them in terms to try to get back into the picture in both the conference and 5A.
And you say 2 and 3 Upper St. Clair versus 4 and 1 PT, Gav. That's always going to be a great matchup regardless, and I don't think the records matter at this point this early in the season.
No, it's you play your Peters Townships and your Mount Lebanons, you can throw the records out the window. The only opponent that both teams have played is Mount Lebanon. Mount Lebanon smacked both teams. Neither games were particularly competitive. So if you're one of those people who wants to compare results against similar teams, really not much of a comparison that you can have. Mm-hmm. The good news for Upper St. Clair is they are healthier than they've been probably since week 0 today. Jamal Brown, their all-everything back and linebacker, is back in the lineup healthy. Ethan Heaster told me yesterday he is moving a lot better. He feels better. And Mark Banbury, again, back in the lineup after playing on basically one leg last week. So they're banged up a little, but there's no question that they are as healthy as they have been. Ty Lagoni at linebacker, who was starting for the injured Shea Moorhead in week 0, he said he is also expected to play. He practiced the last 2 days. So the good news for the Panthers is they are not as beleaguered in the injury department. So the interesting question, I think, is going to be from Panther fans as the Panthers come out on the field, the quarterback position. They've turned the ball over 6 times or 7 times in 2 weeks at that position. Jamie Smith, the senior, got a lot of the snaps in the second half last week, had some effective play, and Brady Erdos, the junior, did not play as much. So it'll be interesting to see who takes most of the quarterback snaps for the Panthers tonight. All right, so one thing I want to point out, this is homecoming. And so it's obviously a big night. There's a lot of alums in the house. The homecoming court will be paraded out at halftime. So in terms of emotion and all the pageantry of high school football, you're seeing it all. So Morgan, in a rivalry game, what typically do you think the coaches sort of focus on? Is there one thing in particular that they try to focus on to kind of calm you down or jack you up? What's sort of the message on average?
They focus on the past. You look at what's happened in the past. You look at what your classes have done over time since you were in 3rd grade, and you compete every year with the same people, and especially for those seniors, you got to focus on the past. You got to see who deserves to come out on top and go off to college with victories.
Yeah, I mean these games, I always point it out this way when I'm doing the pregame talks for basketball. These are guys you're going to run into at the ball.
I know.
You're going to run into random places, and you're going to go to college with a lot of these people, even if you don't play sports. And you're going to be friends with them, but you want to have that bragging rights. You want to have that chip to bring up in conversations. That remember when we whooped you when it mattered? So that's if you needed extra motivation, there it is. So let's talk Peters a little bit. Obviously, 4-1 had a really big win 2 weeks ago against Penn Trafford, who's an excellent program. And the Penn Trafford has been, they were the finalists last year as well. And Peters is a hard-nosed running football team. They have 2 very good backs in Nico Pate, Rick Woods. Those are the 2 guys you're going to have to watch for. And then in the passing game, Jacob McCosco, the tall, rangy wide receiver, has made a lot of plays in the passing game. But at the beginning and end of this football game, we are got to watch the trenches. It starts there. All the Upper St. Clair coaches were very adamant to me that the line of scrimmage was going to be the thing to watch tonight.
And I think especially the junior 55 Mark Banbury. I've heard he struggled a little bit last week with some injuries, but a week does a lot, especially when you're a junior in a rivalry game.
Yeah, he's Mark's a guy I coach, and obviously his brother was a superlative player who's at Cornell now. But Mark's one of the more competitive kids I've ever been around. And, it's funny, Junk told me last week that Mark was only going to play offense. And I think Mark played every single play. So, that was probably a situation where he just
and that was
refused
Robbins,
to come
I'm assuming, right? It was Robbins. Yeah, I could guess that.
So it looks like the Indians will be kicking off. They are in the traveling white uniforms to the left of your screen. The Panthers in their home blacks to the right of your screen. And this is one of the more exciting plays all year for the Panthers.
This is what it's all about. We got the sun. We got the sun going down in the background. It is absolutely beautiful out here. I wish you guys could see where we're looking.
It is a perfect night for football. And here comes this is going to be Jamal Brown, number 7. He muffs it a little bit. He picks it up. Cuts inside, makes a nice little move, gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line, and that is where the Panthers will start their first possession. So let's set the lineup here for the Panthers, but I think the interesting question is going to be who is the guy taking the snaps. And
it looks like number 13 is he's the one that's going to get the ball.
So that is senior Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith, as we've talked about, was a stud for the JV team as a sophomore, went to Central Catholic last year, is back to do his senior year in Pantherland, and I thought he gave him a real spark in the second half. From the receivers positions, we have from the top of your screen, we have Nick Darubas, number 15. We have at the bottom of your screen Aiden Besselman, the junior, number 4, who you got to watch because he is super talented. And you also have Mateo Cipolio, number 2 in the slot. So Jamie's this is Besselman taking the snap, a direct snap to Besselman. He's going to get about 2, maybe to the 23-yard line. Interesting formation there for the Panthers as they kind of go Wildcat.
And from what I've heard, that's this sort of back and forth of quarterbacks is going to be something we can expect throughout the game and potentially for the remainder of the season.
Well, Cipolio, number 2, he's taken some snaps. Heister, when he was healthy, number 24, has taken some snaps. Besselman, I will say this, he can throw. I know this for a fact. I saw it over the weekend. But now he's back almost in a full shotgun, so it's still Besselman. Smith's in motion now. Fakes to Jamie, little counter, heading to your right, slips inside, but a nice tackle right about at the line of scrimmage, maybe 1 for the Panthers. So it seems like a little bit of misdirection here early, Morgan. Are they trying to trick him? Is that kind of what's going on?
I think they're feeling it out. That's what you got to do with this early on, especially with the variety of quarterbacks that you have at your hand.
And they struggled, let's face it, they struggled in the passing game the last 2 weeks. And they're going to have to be able to complete passes vertically. You have 2 outstanding deep threats, and Darubas, who's a really good possession guy, got to find a way. Here's Smith in motion. He pitches wide. Cipolio trying to get the outside, run support, very nice tackle by Recker at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3 and out for the Panthers. Not what you wanted to see from the Panthers early on. Does there come a time when you feel like you're being a little too cute and you got to try to be a little more standard, or is this just sort of a situation of personnel that's very unsettled?
No, I think they're trying to stretch them out early on. I think they're trying to get a feel for what's going on up front as well.
So this is Heister, 2-time all-conference punter. He can boom it. A little bit of off the side, but it's still a pretty darn good punt. It's going to take a Panther bounce. Going to keep going. This is Brady Bartusiak, the senior defensive captain, who downed the ball at the 37. A pretty darn good punt for Heister, about almost a 50-yard net. But Peters will take the ball over here in pretty good field position at their own 37-yard line.
And now, Gav, who's the stud that we're looking at on defense so far for the Panthers?
Well, they've had so many injuries at the linebacker position, and that is what you're worried about. You have Wyatt Koval and Mark Banbury, 61 and 55 there. They've been excellent on the line of scrimmage. Interestingly enough, starting at right end is sophomore Marco Carone, who's an excellent hooper, good athlete. A little surprised to see him getting the start. I hope Zach Ehas is not injured. And then at the linebacker position, you have number 11, Ivory Travers, number 7, Jamal Brown. Great to see him back. Number 5, Brady Bartusiak. Those are and Ethan Heister, 24, is the other in the linebacking core. All very, very good. So they're back in the snap. This is Woods. Gets the ball. Banbury does a nice job penetrating, tackles him for maybe a yard at most. Good penetration there by 55, who Morgan has already spotlighted to watch for. Looks like the rest of the lineup here, we have Mateo Cipolio at the up corner. At the left boundary corner, we have Jacob Huffnagel Jr. Besselman, number 4, who you've seen. He is the free safety. And it looks like the strong safety is number 17, Timmy Spear, who is a junior. So pretty similar personnel to what we've seen. The Panthers have had to sub a lot at the linebacker spot, obviously, because of injuries. But this is a pretty conventional lineup for them. So we got 2nd and 9 here for the Indians. Now they fake it. Good slant. Pass is caught. Oh, and he slips a tackle. Here he goes up the field, and that is Jacob McCosco, who he spotlighted. He is their top receiving threat, And it was well thrown. It was a nice catch, and unfortunately, you got to tackle the catch. Didn't do it, so that's a first down for the Indians.
Jacob Bosco brought down by number 19, Tyson Swire. That completion was good for a big.
So Sam Miller, their quarterback, is a senior. He's a veteran guy. He did not play quarterback last year. Pfeiffer was the guy, but he's had a really nice season so far from all accounts. But one thing the Panthers have got to do, their turnover ratio is abysmal so far. They've got to force turnovers and not turn over the football tonight. So that's a fake. Oh, here we go, out on the bootleg. He gets wide, gets up the field, and out of bounds just about at the Panther 20. So big yardage here for the Indians. So, Morgan, what are you seeing right now on the defensive side of the ball? It seems like a little bit of misdirection here, and Panthers been fooled a little bit on the last two plays.
Yeah, I think they're overloading the left side of the they've been sort of staying on the right side of the field and overloading the open side of the field, and it looks like they're running a lot of counters so far.
All right, so another first down play. Fake to Woods. It's a slant. Nice coverage by Jacob Huffnagel. Really good. They're trying to signal for an interference, but Huff was all over. Really good coverage there. So with the counters and stuff, is it just trying to take advantage of an amped-up team with pursuit, or is that just kind of a strategy, something they've seen on film maybe?
Yeah, and I think they're spreading St. Clair out, and they're going where there's less men. It's pretty simple football at this point.
And that seems to be the way football is going, spreading the field, spacing it out. Both teams are doing it. And as Morgan talked about, we've got three receivers to the left side of the field here. And Peters is going to take their time. It looks like they operate out of either a pure shotgun or a pistol, which is the same thing St. Clair does as well. Miller back to throw, has some time. Going deep down the field. A lot of coverage here for the Panthers. Boy, Sapulio was over, and he almost had it. That ball picked off. I think he might not have quite gotten there in time, but great coverage. Three guys there for the Panthers.
Indeed.
Looked like maybe a post corner or something like that, but the Panthers seem to have it diagnosed very well. All right, so this is a big play here, Morgan. Obviously, field position has shifted, but this is a tough field goal, and Peters has had a lot of trouble in the kicking game. So, 3rd and 10, you want to get them in 3rd and long. They've done that. What do you expect? Do you expect to see some pressure for the Panthers?
I expect to see some pressure, but I expect to see a run from the O here.
Interesting. Okay. Well, this could be 4-down territory, too. This looks like some sort of wildcat here. This is Brendan McCullough. Here he is. And Panthers
that's a big stop.
Beautiful. Jamal Brown, number 7, was way into the backfield, and McCullough couldn't quite sneak through there. So, but you're right, Morgan. It looks like they've treated this as 4-down territory. So, although here comes the kicker, it looks like on the field. So I was told, and maybe this is the scouting report that I got that is incorrect, but I was told that they had really been struggling with their kicking game. But this is Masucci, Andrew Masucci, he was their kicker last year, and I thought he did a pretty nice job. But this is a lengthy kick for a high school kid. This is 37 yards. So snap is down, kick is up, got plenty of distance. And through. Good kick from Masucci. I apologize. That's an excellent kick for a high school kicker. And the Indians strike first 3-0, but something positive to take away from that in terms of, bend but don't break. The field position was good. They gave up some yardage, but only 3 points. And at the end of the day, although last week was a tough effort offensively, high school football these days, you got to be able to put up points to win games. All right,
I think what I saw here, you got to stop the run early. You got to keep them honest. But what I was seeing was, I saw a little isolation on the right side of the field with, the corner number 10 for St. Clair and then the receiver number 2 for Peters. I think we're going to see a lot of that as the game goes on. Yeah,
and that's their best guy. We'll be interested to see if Jacob Huffnagel is up to the challenge. He had 2 really good coverage situations in the last 2. Huff's a tough kid, really competitive. Also a good lacrosse player. So before we get into offense here, I do want to point out that although he didn't touch the ball here, Upper St. Clair's best offensive play this year has probably been the return game. Mateo Sapulio has 2 returns for touchdowns, and here comes Mateo, number 2, up to take it. He got ahead of steam. He crosses. Jamal's going to pick up a block, cuts it inside. Ooh, almost squeaks by him, but a little bit better this time. Gets out to about the 27, and the Panthers will take over there. So, Morgan, you've seen 1 offensive possession. What do you look for from the Panthers here? Anything different?
We'll have to see. I think they're going to come out again, and I think they're going to see what Peter's going to come out in. It looks like Peter's been mostly zoned so far. I think they got to spread him out, kind of like Peters did to St. Clair, and then we'll see how they go from there.
So it's now It's Besselman again. So it's interesting because Jamie's out on the field, but he's basically at a wide receiver position. You know, Jamie's athletic enough to pretty much do anything. But so direct snap again to Bess, and he goes forward for about 2. And this could be something as simple as we think Besselman's our best athlete. Let's get the ball in his hands and allow him to make plays. I don't know. I mean, you have 2 really good backs in there as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. Now it looks like Jamie is. Now he's going wide again.
He's going in the slot again.
Yeah, the problem with this is, you know, Besselman's also probably your best deep threat. So you do have Mateo, though. So it'd be interesting to see if they let Bess throw here at some point. So 2nd and 8 for the Panthers. Bess fakes into the backfield, but gets by a man, slips by another man. Pretty good gain, a clever run from Besselman. Gets about 3 or 4 up to about the 32-yard line. So, you know, we talked about this. Lamarcus and I did a lot last week, getting it into manageable 3rd down situations when you're struggling in the passing game. Looks like they've done that. We got about 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5. So obviously you played for Coach Render as opposed to Coach Junko, but if this was Coach Render, what would you expect to see in this situation?
A lot less shotgun, that's for sure. A lot less shotgun.
Coach is sitting right to our left, by the way, so we can't get into too much critiquing here. All right, so we've got now Mateo's in the shotgun. And Mateo has it. He can throw. Mateo's going to run. He's going to get to the outside, carrying it a little bit loosely, but he's got tons of speed, gets to the 44-yard line. The first down for the Panthers and a big one there. Morgan, do you think it's a little difficult in terms of like the rotating quarterbacks trying to find who has the ball, trying to adjust, or is it just you're kind of staying in your spot assignment-wise regardless who's at quarterback?
Absolutely, it's difficult, especially for, you know, the secondary, and especially when your secondary is going to be the ones making the tackle.
Interesting. I've never quite seen anything as aggressive, as confusing as this. I'm having a hard time announcing for you in terms of telling you who has the ball. And right now Jamal's in the pistol formation with Mateo in motion. Fakes to Mateo. Jamal up the middle. Slips one. Gets good forward lean up to the 46 for about a gain of 3. And they also appear to be using a lot of pre-snap motion and things, so it's got to be a little bit tough to sort of guess what's coming. And maybe that's the point.
A lot of empty backfield, too.
Yeah, it's interesting, an empty backfield when you haven't thrown the ball well.
Loading up 3 tackles on the right side.
Yeah, you're right. You got big Chase Rosenberry there on the outside. Wyatt Coble, number 61. Here comes Jamal. Look at Jamal go. That strong leg drive. He has great forward lean. Gets to the 49 of Peters. So you're right. It looks like what they did there was you have big Marcus Fennell, who's, I think, generally the right tackle. You had Chase Rosenberry, the left tackle, moving over to the right side for it looked like an unbalanced line type of situation. Tyler Kirk is still at center, number 51. And then you have, obviously, the 2 big tackles, Koval and Banbury, who are the, strong at the point of attack. So very interesting. And we're in a nice, manageable 3rd again. 3rd and 2 situation. Matthew Gaither in here at tight end. This is Heister now. Heister's leaning forward. Nice second effort for Heister, and I believe he's going to get the Panther first down on that second effort.
Number 24, Ethan Heister on the carry.
All right, so new set of downs, Morgan. Where do you think the opportunity to maybe hit a vertical passing play happens in this whole scheme of things?
We'll see. I think I think they're going to get a little further up the field first, and then and I think that's when you catch them off guard.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Jamie's back in now. But the other interesting thing about it is Jamie threw a little bit in the second half, but he still ran most of the time when he was. So I'm not sure they know that he is as much of a passing threat as he is. I had the luxury of seeing him play JV quarterback, so I know how he throws.
It'd be fair to see one here too.
Here it is. Now it's just a little wide receiver screen to Mateo. He gets up the field nicely. Good first down gain of 4 and gets to the Peters 44. Good game.
Complete to number 2, Mateo Sapolio. Drop down to number 3, Marcus Record.
And do you think that type of thing is just a matter of keeping them honest, or is this, again, just sort of part of the scripted plan?
I think that's exactly what it is.
So now we have Besselman again.
Gain 3 brings up 2nd and 7.
Here comes Bess to the outside. Oh, nice sure tackle. Bess almost did a jump cut to the inside, but he only ended up getting 1 there. Really nice tackle. That's McCosco, the wide receiver, did a good job coming up and bringing him down. All right, so this is a relatively big play early in the football game here. 3rd and 7 from the Peters 44, probably the longest third down they've had on this drive, but you want to keep moving the sticks.
I'd like to see where they go here.
What are you thinking? You have anything in mind based upon formation or what you've seen so far?
I don't know. It looks like Besselman's going to go behind center, but we'll see which, he's on the side of the run, but we'll see where he goes here.
Yeah, I know he can throw, but that doesn't mean that's their first option. So here's Smith in motion, fakes it to him. Looks like the same play we saw earlier. Here comes Best. He cuts it back. He's got great speed. Here comes Best. He's brought all the way down to the Peters Township 10-yard line. Great little misdirection and run from Aiden Besselman there. And it looks like they're going tempo again, which is sort of their game. What did you see there on that one, Morgan?
I saw just, hard mouth football right up the gut. You see right little off guard. And it looks like he had no one in front of him either. That was all him.
Yeah, beautiful little cut. Now we got Cody Marr, number 8 in at receiver, and Aiden Kahn, the junior tailback, in to spell. Well, no, they got all the backs in. They got like a full house backfield here. No real quarterback per se, but 3 backs now. But you're right, it's basically sort of empty set here with Jamal again. Oh, and Jamal fumbles it. Fortunately, he gets it back. The problem, I guess, is a little bit on the muff as you get kind of behind the sticks. They've done a nice job on first down making some gains, but they're not a big play offense, or they haven't shown in the passing game. You don't want to get behind the sticks on first down.
Yeah.
Loss of 2 brings up 2nd and goal for the 11 for the Panthers.
All right, so big series here from the Panthers. You know that they've struggled offensively. It's no secret. But if you can go down the field like this, run clock, possess the ball, and get 7, that's a huge momentum shift. Here comes Heister. He's going wide. He tries to cut back. They've strung it out pretty well. Can't get up the field. Not much there for the Panthers.
Heister on the keeper on the left side, brought down by number 2, Jacob Acosto, and number 31, Ethan Kirsch, brings up 3rd and goal from the 11.
All right, so let's see what the Panthers come up with here. 3rd and 11 is a difficult situation for any team. It's particularly difficult when you haven't really established any sort of vertical passing game, but here comes Heister. He's going to try to go forward. Here comes Heister. Gets down to about the 5. Pretty good gain for the Panthers, but looks like that's just going to set up the field goal team. And
take your points early. We got a long game ahead of us.
Absolutely. And the good news for the Panthers is they have an outstanding kicker, sophomore Bennett Henderson. He's been wonderful so far. And in terms of a high school specialist, he's probably as good as I've seen in a long time, maybe since your cousin Connor was here kicking. This is not easy. He makes it look easy, but
absolutely.
Good snap. Kick is down. Kick is up. Kick is good. And with 36 seconds left in the first quarter, Panthers have tied up the score 3-3, and yeah, absolutely, pretty good start here. Not much to complain about as a Panther fan. All right, so Morgan, your thoughts here as we creep to the end of the first quarter. Anything expected, unexpected? What have you seen so far?
I think it's been a draw, and I think that's good for the Panthers. Them coming in 2-3. Some would say the underdog. But like I said early on, rivalries. Record doesn't matter much. It matters who has the heart and who wants it the most.
It does, and I'm sure this week that was kind of the message.
Yeah.
I'm sure this week was, okay, it's gut check time, guys. We had a performance last week that we weren't happy about. Nobody was happy about it. At the end of the day, you can really right the ship, and at the same time, take down one of your huge rivals. So, you get your season back on track, and you double that by beating a team that you probably want to beat more than anybody else on your schedule.
And what I've seen so far, I think St. Clair has a lot of threats. I think they got a lot of threats on their offense. I think this is going to be a big defensive game for St. Clair. When it comes down to the wire, you want to rely on your defense, I'd say.
Yeah, got to get those big stops. You're right, though. With Jamal back healthy and Ethan Heister looking a little more mobile than he was due to his injury, you're right. And Henderson kicks it out of bounds. Very unusual. Bennett has been an unbelievably good kickoff guy, and especially directional kicks this year. Their coverage has been great. I'm sure he's going to be disappointed in himself, and Peters will start, I believe, at the 35 is the rule now.
almost exactly where they began, their second drive.
So I will be very interested to see if they go back to the type of stuff we saw in the first drive. Flooding to one side of the field, trying to isolate McCosco at the bottom of your screen, and then do a lot of the misdirection counter type running. It did work until it didn't.
Yeah.
And as you know, I mean, this is why I wouldn't want to coach football. I don't know the game that well, but it is such a chess match. And
it's amazing that I'm just looking at the formations. The game has changed more than you think at a high school level. Much more spread out. Less pro, less con, less straight up football.
So here we go. It's pretty much the same thing. Same formation, sidecar. This is Rich Woods. Heister, nice shot. Oh, can't quite bring him down. Caron's going to get him, and Bartusiak's going to come up and sort of with the second wave of hit. But that's still about a 6 or 7 yard gain on first down. Couldn't quite get him down in the backfield, even though Ethan had good pressure there. And if we're getting into that first down analysis, this is not what you want to have on the defensive side of the ball. 2nd and 4, very manageable. So now they're a little more balanced here with receivers sort of split now. Mm-hmm. And it looks like Peters is taking the clock down. I'm not sure they're even going to snap one here. Now they will. Miller now, this is Woods again, sneaks through the hole. Nice tackle by Jamal coming up to hit him from the linebacker spot. Going to set up 3rd and 1 as we end the first quarter. So a good, entertaining, spirited first quarter from two rivals. And we've got a 3-3 score. Probably
Absolutely.
exactly what we deserve.
I'm biased, but, if I was a St. Clair fan, which I am, I'd say a 3-3 is a win for the Panthers after the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just okay if there was a point spread or a favorite type of situation. It's that you're coming off a performance that was disappointing to everybody. Mm-hmm. And the coaches were disappointed and the kids were disappointed. I talked to, countless guys this week. And so, when you're taking on then, the 3-time 5A finalist, Peters Township, sure, there's an expectation there that, and I'm sure Peters came in here and expected to roll. Mm-hmm. So, the longer you can hang in this game, the longer you can keep this game on an even playing field, that belief starts to come in. You got a bunch of tough, winning kids on St. Clair. They're used to winning football games at every level.
Absolutely.
So I don't believe in that they're not expecting to win and have great performances. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
So, Coach, just so you know, I'm getting all kinds of clamoring for you to come on and give us some analysis here at some point. So, yeah. All kinds of former players here, Coach. All right, so 3rd and 1 here, and the Panthers have had good penetration in the backfield on run so far. It'll be interesting to see if they shoot another linebacker or two in here or rely on their front 3 who've been excellent so far. Heister's now up at the line. Jamal's pretty close. Here comes Heister was blitzing. They're throwing it down the field. They got a guy. He's out of bounds. Huff did a pretty good job there to make sure he pushed him as he went up for the ball. Would not have been a complete pass in terms of the boundary anyway. So that was Shanafelt down deep, and it was a pretty well thrown ball from Miller, but again, good job from the Panthers, who showed a little aggression there, a little blitz. So this is what Helmerich and I always talk about. 4th and 1 on your own side of the field. Conventional wisdom says to punt. The statistical analysis that Helmerich gave me that I read would probably say to go for it here because it's very difficult to stop teams in this situation. Peters very aggressive here, going to go for it. And frankly, it's what I do. But they could just be drawing him offside, so I'm not going to. Here's the snap. Oh, no, Miller's going to pooch it. But it bounced backwards. So really, not much field position gained there. Mm-hmm. So I was getting excited about somebody doing the gutsy thing that you play the percentages instead. And the reason I don't like that is use your punter then. If you're going to punt, try to flip the field.
Little things, like I used to say, or like I said earlier, the game has changed more than you think. I mean, I was only here about 6 or 7 years ago, and normally you just line up with the punter.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like when you fake field goal or fake punt in that situation, and it's kind of like bring your back and your quarterback, your best guys, and try to get the first down if you're going to do that. And I see that. Mm-hmm. So this is Heister now,
and it seems like Heister's been the number for the most part.
Oh, that's a really nice job of following your block, hiding, getting small. And he's going to get a good 7-yard gain there on first down.
Brought down by number 46.
So It's not super hot, but it is warm tonight, and Peters plays a bunch of kids both ways, and you do have a tendency to wear down a little bit at the end of halves and quarters and things like that when the other teams go tempos. So, I'm sure Junk is hoping he can play a little quick, wear them down, don't let them substitute. When the offense is working well, as it did a lot last year, you saw them wear down teams like this. So it's Heister again. Man in the backfield trying to cut to the outside. This is Heister again. Follows Jamal and's going to get across the stick for a first down. So this is straight Wildcat Panthers right here, right?
Absolutely.
What are you seeing from the O-line right now, Morgan? Impressed?
I'm seeing some push. And I'm also seeing some great cuts by the backs. Jamal Brown and Heister have been very impressive so far. Heister almost has a little Trevor Morrow in him, if you remember that name.
Trevor Morrow was a beast. Ethan, I feel bad for him because he's such an excellent player, but he's been so hobbled by that leg. Tonight is the first time, I think, since maybe week 0 that I've seen him look like he looked last year.
Yeah.
So, okay, this looks like Besselman now. Smith in motion. Fakes to Smith. He's going to throw now. He's got a guy wide open. It's Heister. He sucked in the defense. And here goes Ethan Heister. Smith sailing away. Panthers score. And this is just what we talked about, Morgan. I told you Best can throw. They sucked in the defenders. They lost sight of number 24. And that is going to be a long touchdown for the Panthers.
That's what it's all about. Great call by Junk there. That's all Junk on that one.
So, Morgan, we had this discussion when you said, do you think these plays are designed as pure offense or to suck you in? And you mentioned that you thought this was setting some stuff up. That's exactly what happened.
I think you saw it right there.
That's beautiful. Beautiful football, nice throw, nice catch, and that's a big play for the Panthers from a momentum standpoint. So Henderson on to kick the extra point. He's right down the middle, and the Panthers with a 10-3 lead here with 10-12 left in the first half. And that is a little bit of excitement, probably more excitement than we've seen in a little while. And the crowd is very energized here on homecoming. Yeah, Coach Helmerich is giving me texts. Lauren Anderson's giving me texts. They're all like, I need some Coach Render stories. On that wonder. I said he tends to get mentioned every broadcast because he has so many smart things to say. I try to get him involved. So last week, it just seemed like they kept shooting themselves in the foot and not being able to establish the momentum that happens with a big play, with a sustained drive. Tonight we've seen about 2 or 3 momentum-shifting big plays from the Panthers. How can that galvanize a football team, Morgan, from your experience?
Well, I think we'll find out for the rest of the game, but I think it does more. I think it does more for the black, white, and red than it does for the white and red, I'd say. Especially, like I mentioned earlier, being considered the underdog in this matchup.
Yeah, you start to get a little belief going.
Exactly.
But that's beautiful. Last week, I just kept saying to Marcus, if they could just get in the end zone here, I think the game will change. But, and then it would be a turnover. So here's Henderson. This is a beautiful kick directionally. Taking it about his own 7, cutting across the field, almost brought him down. Nice tackle there. Boy, great coverage by the Panthers. And it ended up being number 11, Ivory Travers. But Nick DeRubis did a really nice job, as did number 45, Ty Shields. Really nice coverage from the Panthers.
Oh, boy, and the Indians got a long way to go for this one.
This is more what I'm used to. They've done, after kickoffs, an unbelievable job in pinning teams deep because Henderson's got a big leg and very good directional kick, and coverage has been excellent this year.
You saw it right there.
So, okay, now, as we've talked about the chess match of football, what adjustments do you expect from Peters?
I think we'll see a little. Less running, to be honest. I think early on, they were testing his arm, and it looked good to me. But we'll see.
Yeah, Panthers have had really good run coverage, sort of, especially from the linebackers. Now they are going to throw. Simple wide throw, gets it to the boundary, creeps inside, creeps ahead, and going to be probably a first down. Wow, I didn't expect that. It didn't look like that big of a game, but that's Shanafelt, number 13. So a little simple kind of out pass, and now you got about 9.
And that was beautiful coverage by the Panthers. The quarterback had a window right there, but I saw number 17, Timmy Spear, over top for the Panthers. That was a beautiful play by him to cut off that corner.
Yeah, I mean it's they got a good gain there, but you are trying to, in the field position, you don't want to have a big play. The coverage down the field was good. So here's Woods, taking it wide, cutting it back. Oh, nice stick there from the Panthers. That's beautiful coming up from the linebacker. No, that's Banbury. Excuse me, I'm not surprised. But that, Banbury stood his man up and really closed hard. So that really no gain there. I think it's going to be 3rd and 1. So Peters has had some big running games. Okay, Nico Pate, who's coming off of an injury, and so he's a little limited. But particularly Rich Woods has had some really big running games this year. So this is a nice sign early on that the Panthers are doing such a good job in terms of their run lanes. So 3rd and 1, you'd think it was a foregone conclusion, but what happened last time? They did not make 3rd and 1. So here come the Indians. This is going to be Woods again, and he's going to cut up. He's going to get it. It's a nice tackle, actually, through the line by Zach Ehaz, who we talked about earlier. He's in there back in at right end, but that will be a first down. Obviously, Morgan, the key is not giving up 9 yards on first down.
Yeah.
You're right, though. You bring up a good point. They've been pretty dangerous in the passing game. I'm a little surprised how close to the vest they've been on the offensive side of the ball here. So Hunter Schreck's healthy, too. Number 35, the linebacker back in who missed last week's game. Miller's rolling. Here comes Banbury chasing. He throws across his body. Good throw, but nice play by Timmy Spear to come up and lay the boom on the receiver who can't hold it in, so that's going to be an incomplete pass. And that
another great play by Spear over top, still with the zone, keeping everything in front. That is what you need from a high school free safety, and I can tell you from experience.
Yeah, I'll let you handle the safety analysis. I was going to say what I was impressed with is Banbury chasing after a quarterback from a defensive tackle position, showing off that speed. Banbury is a fabulous athlete for his size. He plays hoops and he is really agile. You'd be shocked at his size. All right, so we've got 2nd and 10 here for the Panthers. Panthers have had, like I said, Peters have had their biggest gains in the passing game, but I think the Panthers' coverage has been pretty good so far. Miller's back again. Looks for a little crossing route. Here comes Ehaz. Ehaz in the backfield. Got him. Is he down? Yes, he is. Zach Ehaz gets a hold of him, and there's a flag down in the backfield as well, and that's going to be a hold. It looks like against the Indians, probably be declined. Great rush from both Banbury and Ehaz from the Panthers. So it is a hold, should be declined, and that's going to put them way behind the sticks in 3rd and long. I want to give a shout out right now to my wife and son who are apparently watching the game, and I'm getting a lot of dad calls from Dylan. Dylan, I love you, buddy. Keep up the support. I can use it. It's just nice to know somebody cares, Morgan,
I know.
Although Ozzy just liked the tweet, Ozzy Park, the legend. So if Ozzy Park is listening, that's a special
you mean
night.
Self-proclaimed legend.
Good point. All right, so 3rd and 13 here. The Panthers have done a really nice job on this possession. Got to try to get off the field. Now we got a timeout, it looks like, from Peters Township. This is...
I think we know what we're going to see here.
Well, clearly they're going to probably have to go a little bit vertical. This is something I always like to talk to Coach about. He used to love to call timeout on the first big 3rd down of the game. So I love when people do that. I always assume, because I assume everything he does is gospel, I always assume that's the coaching move. I always assume that's the coaching move. Yeah, I will say, I love getting your feedback, guys. All the likes and the social media shout-outs and the texts I get during games means a lot from all you guys out there in Pantherland that are still paying attention every week. It seems like a lot of the same people every week. I always mention my man Lauren Anderson, his daughter Aviel. So they're always watching, giving me shouts, giving me feedback, making sure I stay on my A-game broadcasting.
Feel free to hold back on the feedback from me. I get enough from all of you on the day-to-day.
Hey, if you're going to be critical of Morgan, I don't want to hear that, okay? I do not want to hear the negativity here, especially you, Oz.
Especially if you want me back.
Yeah, especially you, Oz. I don't need that. All right, so we're in 3rd and 13 now here, just under 8 to play in the 2nd quarter. Panthers with a 10-3 lead. Miller back's got some time. Looking down the field, little out route. The receiver sort of struggled. He stumbled a little bit in his pattern. He had a little bit of space, but that was Brendan McCullough, number 25, incomplete pass.
And things just keep getting better for the Panthers.
So I'll tell you what, Miller obviously has a strong arm, but that's not everything in terms of the quarterback position, particularly at this level.
Back to punt for the Indians.
Sepulio back to receive the kick.
Back deep for return.
We'll see if he can slip through one of these lanes. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he is so dangerous back there. He's not only fast, it's just he just knows what he's doing.
Shifty.
Boy, that's a – well, then maybe we just figured out, Morgan, why we didn't see the real punter go back and punt if that's, what they're offering. That was Miller, the quarterback, so maybe he is the real punter.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, I totally take back my critique. I take
what
back
said
all
earlier.
of my critique from earlier. Disregard any of my analysis because guess what? I'm a basketball coach. All right. So the Panthers are going to start this series in terrific field position at their own 44-yard line. So, Morgan, now that you saw what the Panthers have done the first couple series here, what would be your game plan if you're OC right now?
I think they're what was working earlier. I think it's going to work again. I think we're going to see a lot more of Jamal Brown. I think Heister has pretty much dominated most of the first half, but I'd like to see Brown, as things progress.
So it looks like Jamie's in at quarterback now. I wonder if this means we're going to see a little more passing. Now it's a straight option. Here comes Mateo. Can he get a block on the outside? He does. Good job from Cody Martin. And Mateo, that's bad. Yeah, that's really bad. Okay, so not only do we got a 15, 20-yard gain, but that's 15 yards additional for a really late hit, and late and low, no less. So that's going to attack on 15, and that's great field position for the Panthers. But so interesting, Morgan, that's like pure option right there.
Mm-hmm. And what a block by number 8, Cody Martin, on the outside right there. As a blocking wide receiver, you can ask Coach Render, that's what I absolutely love to see.
Well, so Cody's a hooper as well. He is a big athletic kid, and he should be able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big athletic kid. But you're right, and Mateo did a great job sort of sealing on the inside, seeing where the block was, and getting to the outside. So really nice work in tandem with one another. All right, so here we go. And just as Morgan said, we expected to see some Jamal Brown, and here is Jamal Brown in the Wildcat formation here as the Panthers have the ball to the 25 of the Indians. Fakes to Mateo, up the middle, leans forward, gets about 3 or 4. Good first down gain for JB there as the Panthers are really marching the ball. Good sustained drives here tonight from the Panthers.
And I think it shows, but it begins with the boys up front. I can definitely see that.
Well, I think it's probably one of those things, Morgan, where I know the coaches were not happy about the line of scrimmage last week, particularly on this side of the ball. You get challenged on film all week. I'm guessing that would be a huge motivating factor to have a better have a better performance. So okay, now Smitty is back in the game at the quarterback position on 2nd and 7. Mateo in motion again. Goes deep. It's going to be that same option play to the opposite side. This time, Peters had it really well scouted. That time, Recker came up with a big hit, and that's a big loss for the Panthers.
I like the play call. I love the play call. But just a good defensive play there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where sometimes you guess right, and it looks like they guessed and saw that play diagnosed. So, okay, 3rd and 16. You obviously probably don't have a 3rd and 16 play. You do have a kicker who can make kicks from long distance. Are you really just looking here to gain some yardage back so that you have an easier field goal, or do you maybe try to catch him sleeping here?
I think what we saw on the last touchdown, I think anything goes here. I think a score for the Panthers here would be absolutely huge to go into the half, potentially go into the half up 14. I think that is huge.
So Morgan is from the Gavin Williams school of aggressive as you can possibly be. All right, this is Smitty throwing wide to Mateo. He's trying to cut to the inside. Not much there, only to the 29. This brings up an interesting situation here because you really can't punt from inside the other team's 30. But this probably is not a field goal that's pretty darn long. And at the end of the day, you probably need to try to throw the ball vertically. So Brady Erdos, the junior quarterback, is in the game here. And, maybe this is where they try to go vertical. What will be interesting for me here to see, Morgan, is this where you try to get Aiden Besselman isolated on one of their corners and just throw a straight, fly or something like that? Looks like they have safety help over the top, specifically with Besselman in mind.
Safety's back deep.
Erdos is going down the field.
It's
Mateo to the outside shoulder. He's
and
got got it!
Yes, he's got it.
A great throw by Erdos, a great catch from Mateo, and that is a huge play for the Panthers. And Morgan Lee gets this right again. They go down the field aggressively for the long pattern. A 29-yard touchdown for the Panthers. We'll watch the extra point here, and then Morgan can tell me a little bit about that play as Henderson takes the extra point. But, boy, I just love the aggression right now from Coach Junko and the boys. Hold down from Lagoni, kick off from Bennett, and good. The Panthers lead 17-3. So, Morgan, tell me a little bit about what you saw on that play.
I think, the safeties were playing deep, and for how deep they were, like I mentioned earlier, talk about keeping everything in front of you, especially with a play like that. You know where the ball is going. And I think, like I said, plain and simple, he got beat, but it was a beautiful catch by the receiver there. That was huge. Yeah,
Mateo adjusted nicely. The ball went to his outside shoulder, away from the defender. And just it was a combat catch, beautiful stuff. But you're right, both safeties were helping on the two fast St. Clair receivers, Sapolio and Besselman, yet they still managed the completion there. That looked like a young Mitch Fawcett there in his prime, I'll tell you right now. Mitch is over there in the stat crew. You can tell he's having flashbacks. I love it. That is great stuff from the Panthers. Oh, I just got a shout out from the legend, Coach Joe DeBruzzo. Coach Joe's retired from coaching hoops this year, but there's nobody better in terms of a person, nobody who loves Upper St. Clair, more than Joe. He's a resident and just a good man. Joe, I miss you, buddy. Anytime you want to come back and visit for practice, we'd love to have you. All right, Henderson again kicking off. Nice directional kick inside the 10. They're taking it back here. Nice little, great coverage again from the Panthers. Look at them swarming the ball. Love to see it. That is again number 11, Ivory Travers, and number 5, Brady Bartusiak.
And that's a big score for the Panthers, Gav, but this is an even bigger defensive possession.
You got to keep the pressure on right now. It's as simple as that. When you have a team down, I don't care what the situation is in terms of who's supposed to win, rivalry, none of that. Yeah. You got to keep the foot down and the pressure on, keep aggressive, know how you got here. And the Panthers look really aggressive right now. I love it. Special shout out to my graduating class of 1996, my main man Dave Camp, Dave Pots and Pans Camp, great hooper. Good to hear from you, DC. Love to Lauren and the family. All right, here we are, a new set of downs at their own 25 from the Indians. Looks like still Miller here. Gives to Woods up the middle. That's probably their best first down straight run game they've had all game. It's probably about 4, but that's probably better in terms of how they're expecting to do in the run game. Now Nick Tremeno, number 66, has entered the football game. He's backing up at the nose. Wyatt Koval, who plays every snap both ways, probably needs a blow here. And we got 4:20 left here in the first half. And the clock is not a super factor right now, but at the end of the day, if you're running and possessing the ball, you got to be a little quick. This is Woods again to the outside, stringing it out nicely. Sapolio in there. Sapolio still in there. Got to bring him down. Besselman finally in there.
Look at those black jerseys. That's what I would love to see.
Love to see him swarming the ball.
Love to see it.
So that's beautiful for Panthers. I take it back. Was that Dowd? That was Dowd with the ball. My apologies.
Yes.
No, that was 31. That was Kirsch with the ball. My apologies.
Yep. Back in my day, we used to call that gang tackle. Coach Travado, who is no longer with us, but gang tackle.
Coach John, you're probably coaching Cannon Mac or something tonight, but if you are on the broadcast, because I know Coach Petragas sometimes tunes in. It's always bothered me to bring him back for a broadcast. If you guys are listening, Morgan remembers everything you taught.
Too much.
Yep. So we got 3rd and 3 here for the Indians. Miller's rolling out. He's got some space. He throws down the field, and it's high. Bess had good coverage, couldn't connect. Are you a little surprised there he didn't take the running lane? It looked like he could have maybe gotten a first down there running the football.
I am, but I think you've seen maybe at least 4 passes up there over by the 50 on the wide side of the field. And that quarterback, he's got a gun, but a little wild. I think we'll see later in the game. Maybe they might shorten up those passes, and maybe he'll get a little more accurate.
Yeah. But
regardless, great defense on that play again.
That's like a third and out for Peters in a row. And I wonder if it's one of those things where you're starting to see a residual effect on the defense, where they're not getting any time on the sidelines. They're getting a little tired as St. Clair sustaining drives.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little better punt there. Okay.
Oh, that's a
Here
great
comes
punt
Mateo. Very dangerous, as we've talked about. Trying to cut back. Oh, that's probably a flag. Yeah. This is just an incredible escape from Mateo. It's unfortunate that that's not going to count. But, yeah, so it's going to be a block in the back. It's going to hurt. Panthers already had good field position. They probably would have been better suited to not do that. But you're fired up. I'm not going to get too critical here. It's really I think that's our first penalty of the half.
I agree.
It's great stuff.
It's okay with 3 minutes left. We'll see if they just run this down.
Ozzy feels like I'm giving him hate here. I don't feel like I'm giving him hate at all, Ozzy. There's nobody who loves you more than me. I said don't give Morgan hate. I'll tell you what. Tough crowd here. I'm waiting for Ozzy to join me on a broadcast. We've had one member of the Park family. Ian's in Korea, so I don't think he's going to join me. But
Ozzy's afraid to come back.
He doesn't like to come home?
No, he doesn't. Because he can't take the heat.
He can't. He doesn't have a platform to respond, so Morgan's taking his shots while he can. So, all right, Morgan, real quick here. 3 minutes, 5 seconds left. You're up 14 points.
Heister Brown. Heister and Brown. That's where they're going to go.
You want to keep the ball on the ground here.
And who knows? Heister's got that breakaway speed. So does Brown.
Here comes Heister up the gut. Oh,
right.
nice little cut.
That was close.
Ball on the ground. He's got it back. Ooh, that scared me to death because that was the bugaboo last week, turning the ball over.
Especially on the 30.
And you don't want to shift the momentum. The momentum is all black right now.
I agree.
But that's a good 6-7 yard gain on first down. And you're right. Clock is not a factor at this point.
No.
You want to possess the ball as long as you can. If you get points, okay. If we get to the 50, maybe the strategy changes a little bit. But right now, let's move the sticks, run some clock. And
I think if anything, this is a great opportunity to see where you can find even more gaps in the run game.
And is Peters getting tired?
When you don't need points.
Yeah, is Peters getting tired? I mean, there's some lanes here. That's a 7-yard first down gain. This is Heister again. Fakes across the middle. Heister again. He's going to lean forward. Great hard run. Gets about 4 or 5. That's another first down for the Panthers. And this is
Down number 31, Ethan Kirsch. That carry is good. For opposite Claire, first down.
And this does my heart good because this is classic Panther football. It maybe comes in a different package in terms of a spread, a wildcat, but this is smash mouth, dominate the line of scrimmage, dominate your man, and go forward between the tackles. I love to see this. Morgan, this has got to remind you, this has got to bring back some good memories.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks already.
So now it looks like JB's going to be the guy out of the shotgun here on first down. And that's a high snap, just falling it. Okay. So it seems like when JB's been back there, we've had a little bit of trouble with the exchange. I couldn't tell whether that was high or just, he's not looking the ball in. I don't know. But so that would be a huge play if it was a turnover. Now maybe not quite as big of a play. But so Peters is going to call a timeout and stop the clock here because now we're pretty far behind the sticks. So, okay, 2nd and 23 here. We got 1:27 left. Do you do anything different? Now, Peters has, I think they had already used a timeout if I'm correct. So I think they only have one left after this. Do you run twice and, run down the clock and play field position, or do you try to do something a little aggressive here?
I think we'll keep the ball on the ground. But I think we'll see a little some to the wide side of the field. We've run the option with Smith a couple times. I would not be surprised to see that again. Or, you never know, you could see Heister right up the middle one more time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, at this point of the game, and I've already told you I'm stupid aggressive, but to me, right now, with a 14-point lead, I want to possess the football, and I don't want to turn over the football.
I agree. So
to me, I'm staying a little safe.
And so it looks like we're going to have Besselman taking the snap here. First time we've seen number 4 back there in a while.
Maybe they think he's the short-handed guy.
I agree.
Now Smith's in motion. Fakes it to him. Little counter. Gets across. Gets about 3 or 4. And Peters is going to use another timeout. I thought that was their third. The scoreboard says they still have 2. But I thought on the third and long they called one.
I agree. So this should be the last.
That was my thought. But if it's not, this certainly changes things because Peters is going to have a pretty good amount of time left with the ball. If not, you can run this down to 25, 30 seconds left.
Timeout, Peters Township.
Yeah, but you love to see the ground ball control stuff. I mean, that is the Upper St. Clair tradition. When I was growing up, you had Pete Habib, you had Doug Whaley. Then as I got to high school, you had, Alan Hamrick, Colin Hawkins, Zach Ellis. You had back after back after back.
Yep.
And this is the tradition. This is the type of things you want to see. So, and I think these running backs are good. I think they're really good. And so
I agree.
You just got to give them time. The line has really blocked well tonight, and I'm really happy the way the offense has performed so far.
I think Upper St. Clair is going to have a lot of flexibility. You've seen almost every number at quarterback and almost every number line up in the slot. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's ball security at this point. When everybody's switching in the exchanges, you got to make sure you're holding the ball. Here's Heister, leaning forward, getting a good gain.
That's a good run.
That's a good gain. He got about 8 or 9 yards.
That's a good run. We'll take it.
So despite what the scoreboard says, it looks like they are out of timeouts.
I agree.
It looks like we had it right.
Otherwise, it'd be stopped.
Yeah, it looks like we had it right. So math is not my strong point, but if they let the clock roll down here, there's probably only about 30 seconds left. The other issue here, assuming the snap is good, is Ethan Heister can bomb punts. I mean, you're talking about a 2-time all-conference punter who has great hang time on his punts. His punts are usually not returned. So, in terms of being safe, the punting game is usually a fairly safe play for the Panthers, knock on wood, but it is important. You're right, Lauren. Bobby Bunn should get a shout-out only because he's a Township resident and the Buns are coming up. Plus, if I see Bob someplace, I don't want to get smacked. He's still enormous. Sorry, Bobby, you're my guy. I love the guys who are still around because they're the ones I see all the time. All right, so if the Panthers can just simply get a punt off here, turn the field position, go into halftime 17-3, you got to think they are going to be ecstatic.
Absolutely. I might take a break and go down in that locker room just to get a little taste of what it used to be. What it used to be.
It's one of those things where I have to imagine that, despite being a pretty good deal removed from it, when you show up here, it brings back a lot.
Yeah, and when you're in high school, you think you're going to come back more than you do. You still hang out with your friends. You still talk about the memories, but this is what makes it real.
I love that. I love hearing it. A little bit of a low snap. Here's Heister.
And another boot.
And it is a good one. Very nice from Ethan Heister. Let's see. About a 37, 38-yard net, no return. That's exactly what you were looking for there.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got 26 seconds left in the first half, and obviously Peters down 2 scores is probably going to be as aggressive as they can be. Miller does have a strong arm. Panthers have got to get back, get their safeties in a really good position. Morgan, what was the instruction when you were at the safety spot here in these type of situations?
It's funny, and I'd say like back in my day, it was much more run focused. Safety, when I was a safety, especially as a sophomore with John Miller as my coach, I was playing 8 yards off the ball. I was essentially an outside linebacker, or what you call a monster back. But as things have progressed and it's more of a spread offense, it's much more about keeping things in front of you, and just like you saw there.
So Miller, again, that arm is strong, but whether it's a timing issue or an accuracy issue, they don't seem to have a whole lot of accuracy. They have not connected on many vertical passes.
I know.
Can you tell whether it's like a timing issue, whether he's thrown it before the break and they're off on the same page, or he's just wide? Do we have any ability to know that?
I think the receivers are lagging in their break, in his drop back. He's already putting his foot forward. Man, he has got a gun.
He does, but look at that.
Got a gun.
So Huff did 2 good things. Did you see how quickly he came up on him, and he got him inbounds, no first down, so the clock runs. Now he only got 8 seconds. And they spike it, and a flag's down. They weren't set.
Offside, yeah.
So do they run the clock here with no timeouts left? Is that like a 10-second runoff? Is that the end of the half? I don't know the rule in high school.
I know. I think with the flag.
So just a false start.
The flag's a dead ball.
Okay. Because I know in college or pros or one of those leagues, when you do that real quick and you're not set, they do a 10-second runoff. I don't know. I don't know the rules well enough to.
Penalty makes it 3rd and 7 for the Panthers.
Yeah, not that the down and distance matter, but it also goes from 3rd and 1 or 2 and 3rd and 6 or 7. But now it is. So somehow it's.
So I guess there is a runoff.
Okay. Well.
What a half for the Panthers! This is what it's all about, man.
So that is the end of the first half. The Panthers with a 17-3 lead over the Indians. Morgan and I will be back before the second half starts to recap it for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the field the Peters Township High School Marching Band. This year, the band takes flight with Fanfare from Third Planet, Into the Light featuring trumpet soloist, brass captain Andrew Rothar, and Ascends. The band is under the direction of Mr. Justin Gazarek and Mr. John McKay, with drumline coordinator Dan Strandis, assisted by Alex Snyder, and color guard coordinator Jill Strandis, assisted by Abby Whalen. The band is under the field command of drum majors Alexis Kirch and Robin Strazar, woodwind captain Emma Hardy, drumline captain Tucker Ferris, and color guard captain Brianna Ross.
Let's give it up once more to the Peters Township High School Marching Band. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the fine and performing arts of the Upper St. Clair Township Schools, we present the pride of Upper St. Clair, the Upper St. Clair High School Panther Marching Band. It's time for our homecoming halftime show. Music is what feelings sound like. In honor of the class of 2022, we bring you the 2016 best-selling song written by Justin Timberlake with more than 3.3 million downloads. Here's Can't Stop the Feeling. It is our pleasure to introduce Social Studies teacher and voice of the Panthers. This is Pat Mannion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the class of 2022 Homecoming Court. Now to introduce the members of the Homecoming Court, Marina McCool and Andrew Miller. Marina, daughter of Joshua and Tammy McCool, is our USC Marching Band High Brass Section Leader, member of National Honor Society, and member of the following clubs: Spark Girls into STEM and Kids Helping Kids. Marina plans on pursuing a major in architecture. Andrew, son of Kim and Chris Miller, is a drum major for the Pride of Upper St. Clair Marching Band, a yearbook editor, a member of the National Honor Society, and chosen as a natural helper. Andrew plans to attend a 4-year college with a major in chemistry and minor in psychology, with the ultimate goal of being a pediatrician or physician's assistant. Tori Slagle and R.J. Shantz. Tori, daughter of Chris and Angie Slagle, is our student council vice president, captain of the girls varsity golf team, yearbook editor, natural helper, and member of the National Honor Society. Tori plans to study industrial engineering in college. RJ, son of Bob and Bonnie Shantz, is president of student council, 2-year captain of the cross country and track team, our school board student representative, and a member of the National Honor Society. RJ plans on majoring in math and secondary education with the goal to become a high school math teacher and ultimately a position with school administration. Izzy Yos and Jake Fisher. Izzy, daughter of Tori and Jeff Yos, is captain of the varsity girls tennis team, member of National Honor Society, volunteers with the Shop at USC program, and chosen as a junior mentor and natural helper. Izzy plans to major in elementary education and minor in special education. Jake, son of Brandon and Michelle Fisher, is the 4-year starting goalie on the varsity Upper St. Clair ice hockey team, member of the National Honor Society, and was chosen as a junior mentor and natural helper here at the high school. Jake also volunteers with the Junior Panther hockey team. Jake plans on majoring in biology in college on the pre-dental track. Sarah Christensen and Joey Baird. Sarah, daughter of Paul and Jennifer Christensen, is our student council executive officer, a super mentor, a member of the field hockey team, and a leader of the Messenger and Young Life clubs. Sarah plans to major in business with a minor in ministry in college. Joey, son of Cindy and Andy Baird, is a member of our Best Buddies Club, participates in track and field, Miracle League, and a player in the next inning at South Hills Miracle League. Joey plans on attending Project Search, a program that provides education and training for future job placement. Kathleen Gianni and Porter Roush. Kathleen, daughter of Neil and Carrie Gianni, is our student council senior class president, a varsity field hockey captain, a yearbook editor, a member of National Honor Society, and a Play Like a Girl club leader. Kathleen plans to attend college, majoring in communications and journalism. Porter, son of Paul and Donna Roush, is a member of the varsity basketball and volleyball teams. He also volunteers with basketball youth camps. Porter plans on attending college for a degree in nursing and continuing basketball. Let's give a big round of applause for our class of 2022 homecoming court. And now, it's time to name our homecoming king and homecoming queen. Our homecoming king is Joey Baird. And our homecoming queen is Kathleen Gianni. Congratulations to Joey and Kathleen, and congratulations to the entire 2022 homecoming court. Enjoy the homecoming dance tomorrow.
Hi, welcome back for the second half of action here as the Panthers and the Indians joining for the second half of football. The Panthers with their most inspired half of the season to date with a 17-3 lead over the rival Indians. And it's been really encouraging so far because it's been all three phases of the game. The Panthers have been really excellent so far in the half. They've been really good in the special teams game in terms of kick coverage, kick return, made their field goal attempt, and then obviously the defense has been excellent to hold the offense as explosive as Peters Township to only 3 points. Outstanding. 17 points after really struggling last week on the offensive side of the ball against Penn Hills is a really good sign. So as we get started here, this is going to be a very important first possession here for the Panthers. So I have Morgan Lee with me, and we have an extra special guest here. Joining me for the second half is the legendary coach Jim Render, all-time winningest coach here in the Whitfield. He said he's only going to stay for a little bit. We'll see how much we can convince him to stay. But Coach, it's good to have you with us here. And as we saw there, another very deep directional kick from Henderson, fumbled and out of bounds at a very tough spot. And I mentioned 3 phases. The Panthers have been excellent so far, and really encouraging after last week.
Well, I think, of course, I'm biased, but I think the Upper St. Clair coaching staff has done a marvelous job of preparation. And all these various running backs and what do they call it, Wildcat. So I think we've done a great job of preparation.
So that looked like play action there, and it was a double move there for the Panthers, and they looked like they knocked the receiver off of his route. Going to be a pass interference call. So, and Morgan and I talked about this, but it'll be interesting to see if Peters' philosophy is a little different in the second half. The run game was not super effective, and when they threw the ball, they threw a lot of longer sideline passes. The quarterback obviously has a terrific arm, but they had a tough time connecting, and as a result, a lot of 3 and outs. I wonder if the philosophy will change a little bit here for the Indians.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So this is Miller. He fakes. It's going to be a little bit of a bubble screen here. And they caught him, but that's going to be a block. I couldn't tell whether it was a early block or a hold.
Is this?
You guys should both use it. We have a microphone here. We have a 3-person booth. I have 2 people who actually know football. This is helpful. Did anybody see exactly what was called there on the bubble screen?
Holding, offense, number 2. That's what they stand on county for foul. They play first down.
So they call it a hold. I didn't really see what happened. Did anybody really see what happened there? Because that looked like a good gain. It was a good play to set up. Did you see the hold, Mitch? So I guess it was the wide receiver in the slot, but that's a huge penalty because it's also a spot foul, and it was the guy in the backfield. So we have like 2nd and 25 here, it looks like. So like we talked about, Morg, don't get behind the sticks, and here we are. All right, Miller back again. This is a shorter pass. Oh, and off the fingertips. But again, that's another long sideline pass to make 3 or 4 yards. It just, to me, it does not seem like the most efficient way to play offense here.
I did see Peters play one other night, and it seemed like they ran the ball better that night.
Well, they have. I mean, you look at their numbers. Woods, in particular, has had huge running games. But the Panthers, really good stuff from their front three. 2nd and 22 here. When we get a break here, I got a couple questions I want to ask Coach. But really, we're hoping to see the same performance here. The Panthers' defense has been very stout so far. Back to throw, looking down the field. And incomplete. It looked like they were trying to throw a little bit of maybe a skinny post there. Incomplete. So, Coach, if you're Coach Junko at halftime, obviously that is a really inspired performance, up 14 points. What do you say to your team there? What, more of the same?
Well, yes. You just want to come back out with the same enthusiasm that they started with. And I think there was a lot of I don't think Peters was prepared for some of the things that Coach Junko and the guys worked up.
So that's just great. So what Peters was trying to do there was probably get just a little yardage from a little screen, and it was diagnosed beautifully. Number 11, Ivory Travers, was basically shadowing the back. He was in the backfield, and they were probably better suited to drop that ball because it was going to be another loss. So, Morg, we talked about what would happen with the momentum from the first half, and to come out and have a minus 12, 3 and out is just what the doctor ordered.
Coaches don't have great third down calls when it's 3rd and 20-some yards to go.
So another low punt. Mateo's going to come out now. He's going to let that go. Get out of the way. But, no harm, no foul, because this is great field position once again for the Panthers, which has really been the story of the game. All right, so, Coach, you talked about how you didn't think Peters was prepared for a lot of the multiple looks and a lot of the different, Wildcat, different quarterbacks, different personnel. Do you think it's more a sense of the personnel in terms of different guys with the ball, or do you think it's the misdirection? What do you think has really kept them off balance?
Well, first of all, they started the game, St. Clair, without a true quarterback, and they used a variety of their running backs to handle the ball. And Heister's tough, and what was the other one? Number 4.
Yeah, Besselman, the receiver.
Besselman, yeah. And then they just kept mixing it up. And I don't know I'm not sure when Jamie Smith finally made an appearance.
Well, he was in the slot a lot, but he really wasn't. And when he's been in there, it's been mostly option.
Yeah.
Which is not a look we've seen a lot from the Panthers this year. So it looks like the adjustment I saw from Peters there. It's one play, but they look like they shot the gaps with 2 linebackers there. I wonder if they're going to, really. Penn Hills did this a lot in the second half last week. Started shooting linebackers, daring St. Clair to try to go a little more vertical, and I wonder if this is what we will see. So here's Heister again, fakes to Sapulio. There's another backer in the backfield there.
I thought you said you were a basketball guy, and you really didn't have a good feel for announcing football.
Well, Marcus Gailey, who was my guy last week, it seems like all you guys who I bring in have a great idea in terms, and they all play different positions. So, Morgan really knows his stuff, receivers, safeties. Marcus was a linebacker. So he was really linebacker focused in terms of what was happening there, and he kept saying, boy, their linebackers are creeping up, and that's what, that's what I'm looking for here.
Well, they probably did steal some things from Penn Hills. Coaches are known to do that.
Oh, that's all I do.
Watch film and then steal.
That's all I do. Holzer watches so much film, it's incredible. So this is Heister again. Gets by one man, has a man downfield. Brown is blocking. Only gets about 3 or 4. So not the best possession from the Panthers there. It looks like Peters did a better job getting into the backfield, disrupting some of the running lanes. It looks like it'll be a punt situation here for the Panthers.
Brings up 4th and 8 for the Panthers.
So yeah, it is going to be a punt situation. Morgan, the one thing we talk about special teams, shifting the field has been an interesting part of this game. The punting dynamic has been fascinating in terms of Heister, getting 40, 45-yard nets, and then, Peters getting 20, 25-yard nets. Another beauty. And look at how directional this is. Oh, that's unfortunate that it didn't get as good of a roll, but, still a good field position. So, Morgan, How much did you think, and it was obviously more of a run game back then, did you think field position played in terms of, especially big rivalry games that weren't as wide open?
Not as, I don't think as much as you think, especially when you're running the ball. I think the field is shorter if you don't need to spread it out. I mean, I know that sounds simple, but it makes sense when you're running in between the tackles like we were, stretch left, stretch right, which were the bread and butter back then.
We've already talked about St. Clair's great run tradition, and nothing does my heart. I know everybody loves watching the deep pass, and it is exciting, but nothing when you're really taking their heart away with a good, hard, interior running drive. It's just beautiful. So, that's a beautiful play by Mark Banbury once again, all fired up. So Banbury has a little extra juice for this game. He's pretty intense as is, but you got to understand, he went to St. Louis with a lot of these kids. He plays Peters. He's a totally different kid. Luke was the same way, so I know he's fired up for this game. So he's in the backfield again. That's about a loss of 2 for Woods on the carry.
Second and 12 for the Indians.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Nico Pate in the backfield as much for Peters. I know he's been banged up. He missed a lot at the end of last year, but he is a really tough runner. So this is Miller. He's got some room. He's looking upfield. There's a flag down. Good coverage by Huffnagel in the backfield. It looked like Jamal Brown may have been held when he blitzed from the corner.
Number 13, Connor Shanafelt. Number 10, Jacob Huffnagel on the coverage.
So the refs are sorting it out here. It would be beautiful to draw 2. Yeah, it was. So they're going to take this penalty. Rather than 3rd and 12, they're going to go 2nd and 22. And it's one of those situations right now where I am so impressed right now that the Panthers are really only rushing 3, maybe 4, and getting the type of pressure that they're getting.
And I don't want to, the last thing I want to do is jinx them, but the St. Clair secondary has been exceptional. It's especially with a quarterback that can drop back and, get that ball across field so fast. I've been really impressed with how tight the coverage has been.
So they declined the penalty. I apologize. So it is 3rd and 12 here from the 18 and
3rd and 15.
Oh, 3rd and 15. Okay. And it looks like, I don't know, there's a question from the sideline, from the Peters sideline. I don't exactly know. Did the ball get moved back despite not being a penalty? Because I thought it was 2nd and 12, so it should be 3rd and 12 if it's an incomplete pass. So,
and the decline of the penalty.
Yeah, that was sort of my take. So we're going to have a huddle here. So, Coach, while we got a break, I have a question from the audience here. They want to hear about your favorite moment at Upper St. Clair. That's an impossible question probably, so maybe throw a couple in there. I know you don't want to offend any of your former teams.
Why not? I did it then.
Morgan was going to chime in with the audience there. I love it.
They want the favorite.
One of your favorite memories. Well, we'll watch the 3rd down play, and then we will get into it. Hopefully, no. See, they're still powwowing here. Go ahead.
Well, the North Hills game in 1989 at Mortarelli Stadium, in front of 10,000 people and a national television audience.
Old Sports Channel USA.
Yes, and we came back and won the game after being down 26-7, I think it was. It was a keeper.
And then and then the rematch was even better when we just smacked him in the Whitfield Championship.
Yeah.
When you grow up on Upper St. Clair football like I did, those things are really ingrained in your mind. And I want to stress that to the people out there. You got to understand, little kids grow up watching these games, and these kids are their idols. I mean, it's a big deal. So we got 3rd and 12 here. Okay, they have figured it out.
The officials should have consulted with you because you were right from the beginning.
Well, I am good at math. All right, so Miller is back. He got a little more time. Now that's the deep out. So, again, just like we talked about, look how long that throw is, and as a result, they completed a 50-yard, 40-yard throw to get 8.
You're exactly right.
He got a great arm, though, Morgan. You weren't kidding. So this will be interesting here. So they did make it a manageable situation. Do you really go 4th and 4 on your own 30? Or is this guy going to punt again?
I think he's going to punt.
So Mateo's dropping back like he thinks he's going to punt. And we already talked about Miller is actually the punter, so my criticism from earlier was totally misguided. But no, he's going to throw. It's a quick out, and boy, that is a big momentum shift play. I give a lot of credit to Coach Plack because that takes a lot of courage. You fail there, and you are in real trouble.
It really does take a lot of courage. I was going to say earlier that I think this is a very important drive for Peters Township because the clock's running, and they haven't shown any offense since the opening drive where they got 3 points. So I would say this drive and the next one is going to be key.
Yeah, we're down to 7.5 in the third quarter, and that seems like a lot of time. But high school football, the clock moves fast, especially with both teams running the ball a good bit. So Coach is right. So it was a good defensive possession for the Panthers. But here's Miller from the outside. Nice cover. I thought Jamal had that ball out. They're going to say he was down. I'll be honest with you. You can't tell from where we're sitting, but it looked like that was coming out. But it's going to be called down. We do not have the benefit of replay here, so it's going to be a 5-yard gain on first down. That was a little bit interesting. We've not seen that type of play where Miller has sort of tucked it, faked it, pulled it out, and run. So 5 yards there for the Indians on first down. And again, Morgan, we talked about this in the first half. First turnover is going to be a very big deal in this football game, I guarantee it. So Miller's got 2 side cards, right? This is Woods coming to the outside. Oh, the Panthers are all in the backfield. Ethan Easter was in there. And my main man, number 78, Marco Carone, the defensive end.
There's a flag down here.
Looks like a sideline warning.
Number 25, Buddy McCollum on the carry.
I don't think I ever got one of those.
Yeah, warning. A sideline warning. I didn't want to say it, but every single one of Coach's former players up here are laughing right now. So,
I don't even know what is a sideline warning.
So that was a great play from Easter and Carone there. Really good to see the sophomore Carone doing such an excellent job there. So it's 3rd and 9 here. A big play here for the Panthers coming off the little momentum shift, getting the 4th down conversion. And Miller is back. And another pre-snap penalty. That's about the 3rd we've seen. So they called encroachment. Banbury's angry. Did they get him for lining up in the neutral zone?
They called encroachment.
Yeah, I didn't see movement, so I wondered if he was lined up in the neutral zone or something.
That official on the far side of the field, his signals leave a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, I can't figure out what's going on. So 3rd and 4, it's a little bit more difficult, particularly since it's probably 4-down territory based upon what we saw in the last series of downs. Miller rolls, he throws, and it's dropped. Wow. So that was and they're going to be 15 yards there. McCosco got a little bit angry that Huffnagle tried to finish the play, got his hands up in the face. And if that's 15 yards, that should be a post-penalty play, so it should be loss of down. If that's a post-whistle penalty, that's 4th down and they lose the yard.
What did he do? I missed it.
So Huffnagle came up to close out the play. I don't know whether he couldn't see if he had the ball or what have you. And McCosco got his hand up in the face. And, you usually get the second guy, essentially. But it is retaliation, and it should be a 15-yard penalty on the Indians. The key is it should not be a repeat of 3rd down. That should be a 4th down because it's post-whistle. Yeah. So the huge part of that is to explain for people who don't quite understand what I'm talking about. If that's a play during, foul during the play, it is 15 yards, but it would be repeat 3rd down. They'd have a chance to go back maybe and do 4 downs. In a loss of down situation, they may have gone for it there on 4th and 4 in St. Clair territory. 4th and 19, you are not going to go for it. It's a punt situation. So big momentum shift here.
Number 5, Sam Miller back to punt. Back deep, number 2, Mateo Sapolio for the Panthers.
So he's rolling out. Aussie style punt. Pretty good one. Mateo calls for a fair catch. Makes it at his own 31. We got a turnover on downs.
First and 10 on their own 31.
All right, so Morg, it looked like the first series there, Peters seemed to be a little more aggressive in terms of getting into the St. Clair backfield with numbers. How do you counter that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, So it looked like on the first series of downs in the second half, it looked like Peters was a little more aggressive in terms of getting numbers against the run. How do you counter that if you're, Coach Junko or the USC offensive coordinator?
I think you have to keep in mind the scoreboard. As long as Peters continues to be aggressive, St. Clair can, the clock's on their side, and I think that's all that matters. And I don't think we're going to see anything crazy from St. Clair the second half.
So here's Easter. And that is Ethan Easter right there. Ethan Easter's going to make the foul forward. He's going to get his shoulders upfield, and he took what was basically a no gain into a 2 or 3 yard gain. So that's a little better on first down than we saw last series.
75, Max Short. Gain of 2 makes it 2nd and 8 for the Panthers.
So now Jamie's in, and he looks like he's taking a play from the sidelines. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to Jamie here to just have a little bit more of a passing threat. Even if they're not expecting the pass and just keeping the ball on the ground. So this is Jamie. He's got empty set pistol formation. 5 minutes left in the third quarter and counting. Jamie takes a snap. Oh man,
he had the deep ball.
He got best. Oh, and that is so. So this is what we talked about again. Every time you suck people up with that motion, you run the risk of that happening. And Besselman is so athletic. He took the top off the defense. He had him in the clear. Good throw from Jamie. All they could do was tackle him. Unfortunately, in high school, it's only 15 yards and not a spot foul, but that's a great game for the Panthers. And kudos to Junk and the staff. Nothing I love more than we're ahead in the football game. I don't care. We're staying aggressive. We're the underdog, whatever. It's a rivalry game. We are going to do what got us here, and that was a beautiful play call. So that's going to get the Panthers all the way to almost midfield, it looks like, and probably most importantly, a fresh set of downs. Man, it is a real nice luxury to have the type of playmakers they have. It's great to have Jamal Brown healthy back this week, though. He's such a threat.
And Smith just threw about like a 30-yard bomb, and now he's lining up at slot. That tells you how much depth they have at the athletic positions.
Jamie's a great athlete, no question about it. So if they fake to Smith, here's Bess coming up the middle, breaks one, gets about a yard. I feel like they've run a variation of that play several times in terms of faked Jamie and then send Bess on the counter.
No gain makes it 2nd and 10 for the Panthers.
Although they broke it up the middle that one time very nicely. So, okay. And I know what Coach Junko's thought process is there. I'm going to get the ball in the hands of my best players, my playmakers, as much as I possibly can, and kudos to him. That is when you have them, you use them.
I think they really caught Peters Township off guard. I weren't expecting that multiple shotgun stuff.
The only reason I was expecting Besselman back there is because I saw him taking snaps in the hallway this week. So there he goes. There's Bess again. Beautiful athletic run from Bess. Such a competitive run. Gets all the way to the Peters 41 for another first down. Because Coach already alluded to watching film. Every coach does it religiously. You watch a lot of film. You can watch all the St. Clair film you want. You have not seen Aiden Besselman taking snaps in the quarterback position. I laughed audibly on Saturday when I was finishing our workout with the basketball kids and I saw Besselman taking snaps as a quarterback. But let me tell you something. I coach Bess. He played a lot on a Whitfield Championship basketball team last year. There's almost nothing he can't do athletically. Just gifted and competitive. So, okay, new set of downs here, Morgan. And more importantly, clock is rolling. 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Panthers with a 17-3 lead. So it's once again Besselman in the shotgun. Fakes, trying to go up the middle. Ooh, good surge there from the Indians, and pretty much no gain there.
Brought down by number 31, Ethan Kirsch, and number 75, Max Short. Loss of 1 brings up 2nd and 11 for the Panthers.
So, okay, now Smith is back in. It seems like when they're getting into more traditional passing downs, they at least want Jamie's threat to throw the ball, but I will be interesting. There he goes. He got room. Here comes Smitty to the outside. He's going to get a first down. He's going to get about 20 yards to the boundary left. And that's a beautiful, beautiful design play from the Panthers. First down and deep. into Indians territory. This is the exact drive, Morg, that you want to see as a Panther fan right now in terms of clock, possession, and everything else. It's just beautiful. And my first shout out of the night here from an actual attendant to the football game. I don't know if now that the window's open they can hear us, but thanks, Big Huff. I appreciate the love. So okay, another new set of downs here. We are into the Peters Township 22. Now it's Easter. Sapulio in motion. Oh no, here we go. And he's on it, thank heavens. So again, we've talked about ball security, turnovers, and sometimes when the personnel shifts that much, you worry about that.
If I understand how they do these things, that's an incomplete pass. That's not a fumble.
They're talking about it right now. That's exactly what they're saying.
See, he flipped it forward. I think the officials are getting it right. They're putting it back where it was.
So they're having a discussion. Great call, Coach. So, and what's brilliant about that is it's probably why you design it this way, because if that happens, it can't be a fumble where you lose the ball and you don't lose the yardage. So that's a great spot. I actually didn't recognize that, although I know sometimes that goes down, like those goes down in the passing yardage.
Yeah, that happens in pro football. And the quarterback gets credit for a touchdown pass in some cases.
Yeah, and the backs get all furious because it counts against their rushing yards. in the fantasy world, that actually matters. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care who's getting credit. So that's a big deal because, you don't want 2nd and 15, 16 again. You don't want to get behind the stick. 2nd and 10, they've done pretty well on.
So who have you guys heard from tonight?
Oh my God, the list is just endless. So many of my buddies, but it's amazing how many of the old football guys listen to these broadcasts, and I love it. It makes me proud to be a part of the tradition. I never played football at Upper St. Clair, but it's just the pride of the community, the people who, how many people have moved back here, but how many people, Dave Camp's texting me right now from North Carolina. It's a beautiful thing. And, Aussie's up in Boston. He's texting. It's
Aussie Park.
Oh, yeah. Helmrich, God knows where Helmrich is, probably at some NFL location. No, New York typically.
He's in New York.
All right, here's Heister. Now they fake it to Mateo. Here comes Heister again. Good. That was a good tackle right there. Good. Usually Heister, the first guy, does not get him down, but they got another yard or so. So looks like we're gonna have about 3rd and 9 here. So, gents, do you do anything particularly aggressive here, or are you happy because you have a great kicker and all of a sudden you make a field goal here? It is a 3-score game, and that is huge in this football game, the way the game has gone. So is that the way you'd be leaning?
I would take the points if you can get them.
Although it is a long kick, don't get me wrong, but Bennett Henderson's been amazing this year. So this is Heister. I'll be interested to see if they're just trying to get a chunk here to make it a more manageable field goal. That's very possible too. Here comes Heister. Cuts it in. Beautifully blocked play. There goes Heister. He explodes through the middle. He's going to score. A big play for Ethan Heister. Beautiful blocking from the interior line of the Panthers. And that is a massive play for Upper St. Clair as they are going to take a 23-3 lead with the extra point pending. I'll tell you what, Coach, I am so excited for this group of kids. They were so motivated this week, wanting to come out and prove that they were better than they showed last week, and this has been just a beautiful performance so far. Henderson with the extra point, 24-3 Panthers. Unbelievable. What a great, emphatic statement drive from the Panthers.
All right, you guys finish it up.
Coach, thanks for joining us. You were a crowd favorite. We appreciate you taking the time. I hope you'll come back for South Fayette.
Being with you two guys is a real joy. I'm telling you.
I promise there was no sarcasm there whatsoever.
I had back surgery this week.
I know, we can't believe you're here.
So I haven't been out much, but to spend a little time with you guys is the best.
Yeah, to have Coach Renner, Coach John Banaszak is here as well. What a fabulous night. I feel the celebrity presence, and the Panthers are inspired.
Thanks, Coach.
Because I have been to pretty much every Panther football game so far this season, and this has by far and away, against a great opponent, been their best and most thorough performance. So, all right, Morg, we still got a minute and a half left in the third quarter. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh, I love looking at that scoreboard though. Excuse me.
I will be.
Oh, that's a new scoreboard. Everything's new around here.
Yeah,
I haven't been here in a while.
You got freaking video. You got all kinds of. You got a game day picture of Jamie Smith up on the scoreboard. It is fancy. I mean, we're up in this, $1 billion press box. Greatest seat in the house. My man Trevor Lamb on the camera over here enjoying our ridiculousness. So this is Henderson. Another good directional kick to the 10. They're trying to get wide. Oh, he does. He's got some wheels there. And Darubas pushes him out of bounds. That's easily the best return of the night from the Indians. He took it all the way across the field. Pretty good stuff from Shanafelt. And, the Indians will start there. Pretty decent field position in terms of the way this game has gone. But so I would have to think, Morg, this would be considered a huge possession by any measure. You're down 3 scores if you're Peters. You've showed very little momentum in terms of your offensive performance. Is the tendency to try to get it on a big play, or do you try to go with what you do best and stick with it?
I don't know. I think the offense has been pretty frustrated the entire game. I would not be surprised if we start seeing some funky stuff, if you will. But that quarterback's arm is dangerous. You've seen it, and I think we'll see it again at some point.
So that's another interior run. Good pursuit from the Panthers.
Number 31, Ethan Kirsch on the carry.
So Ehaz was really standing strong, as was Chimento, and Brown up to finish it off.
56, Nick Chimento on the tackle. And number 7, Jamal Brown.
All right, so Chimento's in at the nose, and he
he
was 90 for a lot of the year, now 66 in case my viewers are confused. He's excellent whatever number he's wearing. But all right, so we got 2nd and 6. Miller going to throw the slant. Oh, he had a man. So Huff's done a great job, Jake Huffnagel, in coverage today. That was the first time I thought he was beat a little bit, but guess what? Another high throw. Miller puts so much velocity on the ball. I feel like at times he might want to take a little off and
I agree.
some accuracy.
And Huff can afford to be comfortable, especially with 17, the safety over top. But right there it was making me a little nervous.
Yeah, Jake's really gotten the better of that matchup, which is impressive. Peters' receivers were very touted coming in, but Jake's done a really nice job at the position. Miller's back, 3rd and 6. That's Zach Ehaz again. Nick Chimento as well. Heister in, and just, I can't tell you how impressive this is. The Panthers are rushing 3 defensive players, plus maybe Heister or Brown, so 4 guys max, and they're getting in there every time.
It starts with Banbury, though. Banbury forced him out of the pocket, and the right side of the line did the job.
So we are ticking down. It looks like this is 4th and 8 for the Indians. It looks like they're going to let the clock run out, let the third quarter clock run out, and regroup on the sideline. But 4th and 8, you're on your own 38, but you really have no choice at this point, down 3 scores. You got to go. And if they don't get it here with the field position, this is trouble. So lest I say this might be the biggest play of the game so far.
Absolutely.
All right, so Morg, play Peters' offensive coordinator here. What would you do? Obviously, they've had trouble connecting on some of these passes. Would you try to find something a little easier to complete? Would you do something tricky? What would you do?
I don't know. I maybe catch St. Clair off guard. They got a wide field to the right. I can see a screen, especially with that quarterback's drop back is so fast, and his release is almost faster. But we'll see if those athletes on top of the screen can do the job.
Interesting. I actually like that. That's a little simpler than what they've done. I just think their passing game's been a little too complex. Maybe Miller's just having an off night in terms of accuracy. Like I said, I don't have the luxury of watching a bunch of Peters' games, but he's not been accurate tonight. And with that type of arm, you'd think if you put him in a little easier positions to succeed, you might have a chance. But kudos to the Panther defense, because there haven't been receivers open down the field at all, and then their pass rush has been excellent. So, all right, so the Panthers in a big 4th and 8 situation here as we start the 4th quarter. They lead 24-3, and I'll be very interested to see what the Panthers do here. Do you bring pressure? Do you keep your coverage? Who joins the 3 down linemen in a pass rush, if anybody? So Brown, Travers, and Heister are all kind of up towards the line.
I think we might see Brown creeping up here.
No, but it's It's a slant. Great coverage by Jake Huffnagel. Gets his right arm in the play. Terrific coverage on Shanafelt. Strips him in the middle. And Jake, let me tell you something. Jake Huffnagel, number 10, the junior corner, has just had a magnificent day. They picked on him all day and had no success.
That was it. That was a young Pete Coughlin if I've ever seen him.
Oh, that's a big compliment because Pete Coughlin was a shutdown corner. Could not catch interceptions, though. Cannot wait to remind him about that when he joins me on the next broadcast. Peter, I hope you're listening so I can make fun of the fact that you never caught interceptions. But St. Clair has had a great tradition of corners, too. Think
Absolutely.
of Kevin Matthews.
Pat
Think
McShane.
of Danny Cafaro, Pat McShane. Outstanding corners all over the place. But Huff's going to be a good one. He's only a junior. All right. So the Panthers can really put this team away. They get a touchdown here. This is pretty much lights out. But I expect them to keep the ball on the ground. Here comes Heister. Straight ahead. Nice cut. Going to cut again to the outside. Here comes Heister. We got a flag. Oh, it looks like it's going to be on Besselman. He tried to chip the guy coming in from the side on a block. They're going to get him. Unfortunate. That's only about the second penalty on St. Clair tonight.
21, Elliott Trapp, and number 31, Ethan Kirsch.
Yeah, Bess is frustrating because he knows the field position was good, and it was close.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with Ethan Heister tonight because, like I said, he's been so hobbled. His cuts have been so good tonight. You can tell he's feeling better because he's this type of player. So Bess is getting the explanation there, and he seems satisfied with it. But it's a big play because, instead of 2nd and 5, like we've talked about, we're at 1st and 20 again. But Panthers do have some big play capability. It'll be interesting to see whether they are content to keep it on the ground, keep field position, keep clock running, or are they going to try to get a little greedy here and catch them sleeping and hit a big one. I would do that, but again, I would probably turn the ball over. So Aiden Kahn, number 33, is in the game. Heister needed a little blow there. He's played basically every play. And Jamie's in the game at the slot here. And Bess looks like he's going to be the Wildcat quarterback. He's in motion, flag down. Here comes Bess up the middle. He's got a lot of room. He's going to go. He can't quite get by the guy. The unfortunate part about this is
run.
I think there's going to be an illegal shift or illegal formation.
Yeah, we'll see. He was creeping.
Brandon McCullough on the tackle, flag on the play.
But Gav, that's another run up the middle. St. Clair has not done anything fancy, and I think, yeah, you were right.
Guess somebody wasn't on the line or somebody was covered.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate because it obviously takes away a big gain. But the other thing is, Panthers have played such a clean game up until this possession. Now, I think that 2 penalties, I think they only had 1 before this. So, coaches, I know they love to talk about clean games. No turnovers, no penalties. So that hurts you a little bit. But,
especially after last week, from what I understand.
Oh, gosh, it was, penalties and turnovers galore. All right, so 1st and 26. Coach Render, when he was here, already mentioned you probably don't have many plays for 26 yards to go, but you do have 3 downs to chip away, so hopefully you can come up with something. Just, get pieces back here. So it looks like a timeout from Coach Junko as the play clock was winding down. Probably not a bad idea to regroup here. You had back-to-back penalties and a couple momentum shifts that you had big plays called back, so maybe a good time to
settle
sort of
down.
regroup. Yeah.
Scores of other games, Boone 21, South Fayette 13.
So, Morg, this is the first time you've seen the Panthers, and obviously they've been excellent tonight so far. What are kind of your thoughts overall in terms of, you think this team starting to gel? This team has some potential.
I heard coming into the game that we're having injury problems, which is expected. Everyone deals with it. But what I have found astounding is the amount of athletes that they have on their offense and how the coaching staff has been able to blend them together and be successful. One time you'll see Besselman running right up the gut, and then you'll see Heister on the next play up the gut. It's been really impressive. It's not the St. Clair football that I'm used to, but it's the St. Clair football that I can get used to.
Absolutely. Especially if it's going to be this successful, huh?
Absolutely.
I'll give you a couple out-of-town scores here. Lebo leading North Allegheny 21-7 at halftime. Mount Lebanon, a very strong team this season. The Bethel Park Blackhawks lead West Allegheny 13-10 late in the third quarter. So there's your other local rival school updates. But frankly, you beat Peters Township tonight, I don't care what the other rivals do. We'll get our shot at Bethel later anyway.
I'll sleep like a baby.
Yep. All right, this is Jamie Smith in the backfield, first and long. Smitty's going to fake the pitch. Going to go trying to get up the gut. Not much there for the Panthers. Good surge there from the Peters Township front. Big number 75, Max Short, in the backfield, making the stop for maybe a gain of 1. So we're still in second and long here. Panthers are taking their time, and you would expect nothing less.
Second and 22 for the Panthers.
You know, as much as the fan in me essentially wants them to go for broke here and put this game away with a touchdown.
It's
got
funny.
a 3-touchdown lead, man.
I'm looking at Besselman here. Besselman's looking at the coaching staff. He's going, me.
But that's the attitude you want your guys to have.
Absolutely.
And they do. I mean, anytime you take a chance down the field to Mateo or Besselman, you really haven't. You got a good chance. So this is Jamie.
And I think we're going to go to him.
You think another penalty?
Man.
So it looks like another pre-snap thing. I didn't see anything, but
Delay
a game. Wow. Yeah, so the wounds have been largely self-inflicted on this drive, which, again, we have not seen much of tonight, so we're going to back them up even further. I guess if there's one good piece of news here is that you still have great field position. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're backing up in the shadow of your own end zone. Yes, it's probably torpedoing your drive, but if you can hold the ball, make a couple positive gains, punt and pin them deep, you're probably fine.
You're up 21.
Correct.
So,
All right, so Jamie's in the backfield here. And again, I will be very, very fascinated to see. This is empty set. Are they just going to keep the ball on the ground, or will he take a chance? This is Jamie again. Going to cut it to the outside. Good block from Jamal. Jamie gets upfield. Nice job. Turns it up. Stays in bounds. Gets to about the 43? That's about a 10-yard gain. That's a really nice gain from Jamie.
Elliott Schratz.
So you cut even more than 10 yards, about 12 or 13. So you cut your deficit in half. Now you're down to third and a little more manageable, maybe third and 15. So my expectation here is you're not going to see anything beyond keeping the ball on the ground. But Jamie's doing a nice job. Jamie can throw the ball, but that doesn't mean he has to. He's been really good with his feet. Jamie's got it again. He's going to run. Oh boy, this is trouble. He is going to be sacked in the backfield for a large loss for the Panthers. But again, clock is ticking, no harm, and the Panthers will punt from Peters Township territory with the ability to pin them deep. Let's get a good snap and a good punt off here, and we are just fine.
And to be honest, I think the umpires got sick of throwing flags there because it looked like a pretty big hold.
It looked like they were slanted one direction, and we ran right into it, which is kind of a bad break, but yeah, give Peters credit. I mean, the Peters defensive line really, they showed out that drive. They didn't want to be the reason this got ugly. Good snap. Heaster's going to boom this one. This is a dandy, my goodness. Going to take a nice hop, let this baby roll. Here we go. Let's keep on going. Down to the Peters Township 7-yard line. Beautiful work from Ethan Heaster once again in the punt game. And if Peters is going to get back into this football game, they're going to have to go 93 yards to do it. So Morgan, same question here, but I think the situation has shifted a bit. You only have 8:18 left. I have to think Peters is going to have to be a little more aggressive downfield in terms of their attack.
Yeah, but I thought if they would have switched it up and if we would have seen some aggression, I thought it would have been early on in this drive. I think they've really, they have low morale at this point. I think they've been trying to force some things that just haven't worked out. And I think, once again, they come out in the shotgun with trips up top and a back in the backfield. I think we're going to see some same stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the same formation. Miller's looking at the guy on the low part of the screen again. Throws a little low. I think he got it. Okay, it's going to be a catch and a first down for McCosco. So they're back to what they were doing in the first half, and that's isolating the one guy with the trips left and isolating McCosco. So now they got Huff on the bottom here. He's going to have to do a great job but his job really is to keep the play in front of him. The clock doesn't stop for that long. A 10-yard gain really doesn't kill you right now. Particularly with the clock winding significantly between every play. So what?
Another timeout on Peters.
Well, to me, if you're down 21 points, the last thing you want to do is to burn a timeout when you know you're going to need to stop the clock with the Panthers running the ball every play. That's got to be a pretty big morale, a hit to their morale, I would think. If you're on the Peters sideline, you're going, oh, no, we only have 2 timeouts left. We're down 3 scores. So really, everything coming up Panthers right now, it's a beautiful sign. So, Morgan, what on defense do you think, other than, obviously we've talked about Peters having trouble connecting in the passing game. Yeah. What have you seen schematically from the Panthers that you think has really worked tonight?
Besides a little more you could say, from Mark Banbury. Mark Banbury has been wreaking havoc in the backfield, and he's been riding the line all night as well. It's just been tough for Peters to get some momentum going, especially with those missed passes. And when your run game, isn't working for you, it just doesn't help. And I mean, it sounds simple, but I think the St. Clair defensive line and offensive line has been really impressive tonight.
Well, what did we talk about in our intro? We needed to be better at the line of scrimmage. Yep. All right, 1st and 10. Then the Indians. They're looking for McCoskey on a slant again. They got him this time. Huffnagel's going to get him to the ground, but that's a pretty nice gain. About a gain of 16 for the Indians. So this was a little more what I expected to see, especially from this formation, to try to get McCoskey, who's their big play receiver of the ball, in a little easier throws. That's a quick slant, a little easier throw from the quarterback. And the Panthers probably conversely are going to have to, maybe single linebacker or safety that way. I know it's tough to do when you have trips to the high side, but maybe get Jamal down there, take away that slant, make him throw the out. He's looking at the bottom of the screen here again. It's an out. Nice throw that time. Mateo can't bring him down, and he gets out of bounds that time. So another first down. So it's been basically the same type of look 3 plays in a row. It's been an out, a slant, and then another out to McCoskey, isolated on different Panther D-backs. But McCoskey looks like he's down injured. And that would be a big loss for the Indians, because it's clearly been their strategy on this possession to isolate McCoskey. If he's hurt, it's going to be an issue. What's up? My man Mitch is telling me I got the wind knocked out of him. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. He's running off the field under his own power. He's fine. All right.
Now, Gav, who do the Panthers have next week?
That's a good question. I'm not certain. It's somebody. I have it. They are at West Allegheny. That's a fun trip. I like making that one. I'll definitely go to that one. All right. 1st and 10 for the Indians. They don't have McCoskey in the game. Oh, there it is! He sat on the wide receiver screen. That is such a beautiful read. Unbelievable. Tyson Swigert. Oh, no, he fumbled the ball.
He fumbles it.
Oh, and they stripped him. So it's going to end up being a touchback. Oh, it ended up being a touchback.
Pass intercepted by number 19, Tyson Swigert.
Unbelievable. So let's recap that play real fast. So it was going to be a wide receiver screen, one of those bubble screens, and Tyson Swigert, who is a junior safety, he sat on it, he read it, and he just basically intercepted the pass. He looked like he was home free. The Peters Township receiver came all the way back and stripped him like the Don Beebe play in the Super Bowl, and it looked like it rolled in the end zone. It probably should be a touchback. Morgan, what did I miss there? And
I think you got it all, Gav. Besides, I think one thing that you did miss was Coach Donati. I'd say at the 20-yard line, I think we got a flag coming our way.
Was it? We already have been warned, so that would be unsportsmanlike. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Coach Donati was on the field. Well, he was probably excited. Your defensive coordinator gets excited when you have plays like that.
The ball was fumbled by Upper St. Clair in the end zone. Recovered by Peters Township. That makes it a touchback. During the play, we got sideline interference on Upper St. Clair. That penalty is going to be assessed 15 yards from the 20-yard line.
So, okay, it should be Peters' ball, 1st and 10 on their own 35. So at the end of the day, no harm, no foul. It really it basically would have been like Peters lost yardage on the play, but gets first down over. So, it's just really bizarre play. I feel horrible for Tyson Swigert. He made an unbelievable read, an incredibly intelligent play. Probably just didn't see the guy coming.
That's every defensive back's dream.
Oh, Morg, I can't believe it. That would have been the best way to punctuate this game. But hey, all the Panthers got to regroup mentally. One thing they've done great tonight is when things have gone against them or they've been plays that haven't gone their way, they've really rebounded well. They haven't let the momentum shift away from them all night. So
I agree, and it's all body language, and you can see it in Peters Township.
Makes it 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 35.
Oh, it's through McCosko's hands. Here we go. Marco Carone's in the backfield. Here comes Jamal. Jamal's got him. It's thrown up in the air. Mateo's got
Another
it.
interception.
And that is an interception for
Another
Mateo Sapolio. And that is an important lesson for you young people. When you make a mistake, and Miller did make a mistake, the ball went through his hands, you don't compound your error by making another one. He would have been much better suited to throw that ball out of bounds, get out of the pocket, or even just take a sack, live to play another day. Because he didn't, that's pretty much the ball game. But great play by Mateo Sapolio. Was up on the receiver, read that pass beautifully, gets the interception. What a big night for Mateo. A big pass reception for a touchdown, now an interception. So back-to-back interceptions for the Panthers. You don't see that happen very often, Morgan.
No.
Interceptions for the same team on back-to-back plays. Panther Nation, if you're wondering whether I'm getting too excited, you are absolutely right. But frankly, I was so disappointed for these kids last week, and now I am so excited for them. Here comes Easter. You're going to see a lot of him the rest of the way, I'm guessing. Here he comes, grinding forward, carrying forward, still has it. Gets about 7 or 8. Good, tough run. And I wonder if Peters' defense is starting to get a little demoralized now. Has to be. The offense just hadn't gotten anything going. Got to be frustrating. Uh-oh, Panther down. And that could be Easter, and that would be a super big loss for the Panthers because his leg has been bad all year, and I'm hoping it's not that same leg. Because this is easily the best he's looked health-wise in weeks. He's saying, help me up. Looks okay. All right, that's good news for the Panthers if Easter's okay, because you saw what a difference maker he is tonight on both legs healthy. He is just an absolute tour de force for the Panthers on both sides of the ball, and they just need him. They need him healthy. You've seen what a difference they've made tonight with him and Jamal both healthy. All right, so we got about 2nd and let's say 3 for the Panthers. Jamie Smith back in the game. We got a 6.5 left to play and running. The Panthers with a 24-3 lead. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. A emphatic, dominant performance so far tonight from the Panthers. And it's going to be Jamie again now in the backfield. Mateo in motion. Jamie looking sort of option now, slips and cut, gets straight up the middle, gets a good gain of about 4 or 5. That's going to be a first down for the Panthers. You got to give a shout out to the offensive line right now, Morgan. I know you just touched on it, but they've been marvelous tonight. You know, Chase Rosenberry, number 77, Marcus Fennell, number 75, Tyler Kirk, 51, the center, Mark Banbury, number 55, the right guard, and Big Wyatt Koval, the captain, number 61 at the right tackle. All been excellent tonight. And really, everybody they've had at kind of the tight end wingbacks have really been excellent in the blocking game. Jamal's been there, Matthew Gaither's been there, Brady Bortuziak's been there, and just everybody's done an excellent job tonight. So this is Jamie again. Gonna keep it. Oh boy, they shot the gap there. Jamie got forward there. Give him credit. He spun off the first guy and got back to the line of scrimmage. No loss. So they're sort of sending the house here, Morg. Any wrinkles you'd throw in here, or just be very content to keep running clock?
No, keep doing what they're doing. Now, Gav, what have you noticed as the biggest change that they've made from last week? Because just from being around the press box, it must have been ugly. It must have been ugly, and this has been anything but.
It's a good question. So This is Smitty again. You got to get forward for about 2 or 3. So, the superficial thing you can point to is all of the changes in terms of personnel and looks on the offensive side of the ball. That's great, and I'm sure it's difficult to adjust to. But to me, the main difference tonight has been on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I thought they got pushed around some last week.
Yeah.
More so than I expected them against the younger Penn Hills team.
Yeah.
And I think you have a team of proud kids who probably got, yelled at in film.
Yeah.
The coaches probably got after them this week. And, kids can respond one of 2 ways when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
They either pack it in and say, we're not any good, or they say, I have pride, and I'm going to respond the right way, and they really have responded the right way. So here's Best. He's going to get wide. He's going to turn it up. Well, great open field tackle, but we got another flag. Looks like a hold on the corner. I don't know what Peters will do here. It's going to be 4th down, but it's probably a field goal. You could kick a field goal from where they are, especially with Henderson's leg. Maybe Peters moves them back, but if you move them back, St. Clair gets another down, more time to run clock. So.
Scores by the games, Moon 28, Southfield 13.
So declined, as I suspected. And now if you're Coach Junko, I wonder what you do. Do you try the long field goal knowing Henderson has the leg for it, or do you worry about, a block and a return or something and just be happy to, run the ball? We have Moon in 2 weeks, and let me tell you something. They are good.
Really?
They were good last year, and they are all back. They are so strong at the line of scrimmage. That will be a very difficult game for our Panthers. Last time St. Clair played at Moon was a fun night for me. I got to stop in the locker room on the way to the game, grab a player's helmet that forgot their helmet, walk through the parking lot with a helmet, and
helmet
deliver
on.
it to
Helmet
somebody.
on?
No, I carried it, and I looked like an idiot. So here's Jamie, running to the outside. They can't get him down.
stiff arm.
He cuts it up. Good tackle, but Jamie did a nice job fighting. Got a yard or 2, but it's going to be a turnover on downs, but I'm sure the St. Clair coaching staff with 3.5 left, up 3 scores, as satisfied as you can be with that.
Yeah.
All right, so again, now maybe they go back to that same strategy with the 10-yard stuff to McCosco, but say you do that all the way up the field, you still run out of time. You may get 1 point. To me, you got to go vertical here.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Heister back in there. Well, I think it's good to see that he's back in there, but from a coaching staff standpoint, I'd probably set him out the rest of the game. To be honest, he has been excellent tonight. Very impressive.
That could be one of those things where Heister says, "This is my game. I want to win this game." These kids, like I said, they have so much pride. I love these kids so much, and I'm really proud of them tonight. So they are going to go vertical here. They've got a guy down the seam, but here it comes, and it's going to be. Is that a fumble?
That's a ball.
It is a fumble, and here comes Nick Comento. It's going to be Nick Comento with a touchdown.
Oh, the big boy deserves it.
I love it. I couldn't tell who that was in there with the pressure. It was either Jamal or Ivory Travers.
Yeah.
And there's a flag. I don't even know what the flag was. If they call it a pass, the flag's probably grounding or something.
Yeah.
God, I hope this touchdown stands, because that is the just most beautiful way to end this game after Tyson didn't score on his pick. A big man touchdown is the best. They're discussing it still. They have about the whole crew out there now. I mean, it's not like a pivotal moment here. And they're scooting back the sideline again.
Yeah.
So they are calling it. So they're calling it a forward pass. They're calling it a grounding, and I have no idea. I'm sort of confused at the call, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a spot foul, half the distance to the goal. It's going to be second in a long, long game. But I really wanted to see Nick Comento has been excellent tonight, and he's a senior. He would have got his moment there. But you know what? He probably had the joy of scoring the touchdown, even if it doesn't count. He can show people on film he scored a touchdown. So
now we have another stoppage.
Junk's out on the field now. trying to get an explanation as to how this makes sense, I'm sure. I'll tell you what, if this was a close game and that was your call, there would be some angry
absolutely.
folks. All right, so 2nd and a ton here for the Indians. And they're going to just do a quick handoff, get a little room out. There's Woods. That's probably his best gain of the night. Marco Carone, number 78, with another nice tackle coming from the opposite end to stop it for maybe an 8-yard gain. I did not expect to see Marco Carone starting tonight. I am super impressed with this sophomore. Morgan, let me tell you something. Kid is going to be a really good basketball player. He's super athletic and really smart. But, you know, a sophomore playing on the line, that's tough. You know, you haven't really grown into your body as much.
Absolutely, especially with his size. You know, he's only got up from here.
Yeah, he's a super kid, too. I'm happy for him. All right, 2.5 to play. Time ticking down here. Clock in Panthers' favors. We got about 3rd and, let's say, 18. Another interior handoff to Woods. Oh, Jamal comes up and lays the boom. Great. Oh, is that ball loose? The ball, it came out. It's a matter of whether he's considered down or not.
Or if it was an illegal pass. We'll see.
Yeah, well.
Whatever that means.
I don't know, but Jamal's saying that ball was out. And
they're giving it to the Panthers.
Football. And it looks like Nick Comento came up with that one. So
number 22, Rich Woods on the carry, fumble on the play. Recovered by number 66, Nick Comento.
Yeah, the fans,
there we go.
The fans
there we got
love
his
it
name.
because Comento should have scored. And Jamal Brown, huge difference maker. What a stick in the hole. So we talked about the first turnover being a big deal. At the end of the day, the turnovers were kind of after the fact, but the Panthers have forced 3 turnovers here in the 4th quarter, and really to put a button on an emphatic 3-phase performance here tonight. So it's going to be Heister in the backfield. He's obviously assured them that he is fine and it is not his bad leg that is injured. Got a gap there. Here comes Heister. He's churning. He's down to the 5. All right, big gain for Heister. Going to be 2nd and 1. And look, guys, you know, Morg, you know how rivalry games are.
Yeah.
I do not, under any circumstance, I'm not about running up the score. I'm not about showing anybody up. But if you can get another extra touchdown against your rival, you darn well do it. Because this isn't a one-sided type thing where one team is overmatched.
I agree.
You know, if you get a chance to send a message, you send it. So we're inside of 2 minutes left here. Panthers lead by 3 scores. Here comes Heister. Cuts it back. He's in the 5. He's in the end zone. Great cut back to the left from Ethan Heister, who scores once again for the Panthers, his 3rd touchdown of the night. And ladies and gentlemen, that will just about do it. The Panthers with a 31-3 lead over the Indians tonight. And I am thoroughly impressed. There is not one person who could have told me with a straight face they would have expected this margin tonight. Henderson on for the PAT. Another perfect night for Bennett Henderson. So, you know, talking to the coaches this week, Morgan, you could tell they were frustrated at last week and they were disappointed, but they did not act like this was some, you know, unwinnable challenge or anything like that. They just said they had to be better, but they thought they were capable. I'm wondering if they thought, you know, they saw enough signs that they thought they saw any of this coming.
But you know, this is, and I took a lesson from Coach Render. You know, we would have games like this, and believe it or not, sometimes those were the worst film days because he would pick out everything, even if the score was, you know, 45-0, 35-0, which we're fortunate to have a lot of. You never know what they looked at over film overnight. Excuse me. So
that's our job, man.
Exactly. But you know, that's where, you know, it's corny to say, but that's where champions are made. When you win and you still find mistakes.
But you know what? Our kids have told me this. Going into a tough film session after you've won is a heck of a lot better than going into a tough film session after you've lost.
That's correct.
And I hope these guys enjoy every moment of this tonight, because these are the special moments you remember from your high school career.
Absolutely.
Your rival, putting a whooping on them. Henderson. Good. Another directional kick, pinning him on the sidelines. Schoenfeld's got it again.
But
he is in there.
Number 13.
Another flag down. That looked like Gordon Groniger, number 41, in on the tackle. Good coverage from the junior.
Brought down by number 45, Ty Shields, flag on the play.
So it looks like the penalty is against the Indians. Ty Shields is, I'm not sure what the discussion is here, but he was talking to the official.
Going to return, personal foul, face mask, number 45 on the football team.
Oh, so that was the issue.
15 yards from the end of the line, first down.
So getting a little too aggressive here. You know, and you also see that. I mean, you see a margin like this where a thorough performance in a rivalry game. I'm sure the Peters kids are incredibly frustrated right now. They're probably incredibly disappointed, and you get angry. This happens in every rivalry game I think I've ever seen. All right, so it's just going to be handoffs. Peters is probably ready for this to end, and I don't blame him. It has been a nightmare tonight for them.
22. Rich Woods on the carry.
So as we wind down to the wind down to this game's conclusion, Morg, what would you take away from this in terms of trying to build it? What would be the main type of things you would try to build on for next week in terms of whether it's in film or otherwise? Is it something with the effort and spirit? Is it a strategic thing? What would your takeaways be heading into West Allegheny?
You know, I'm not sure what West Day is like, but I think what this has shown is that you take it 1 week at a time. It doesn't matter what happened last week. It doesn't matter what happens the next week. You know, I think they might have it. They could honestly have a completely different game plan going next week. But I think they're going to be very happy with their plan, with what their strategy was for this game. And I could see them using it again next week.
Yeah, I mean, Morg, it's very possible that last week could have been a sense of overlooking somebody.
Yeah.
You know, not a rival game, not a conference game. Maybe it's as simple as that. And maybe they're going to really bear down on the conference games. But everything's in front of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a chance to do great things still. So, you know, I'm sure the coaches are letting them know that. So that's Woods up the middle again. And if nothing else occurs, this will be the last play from the scrimmage here. And it is. It looks like they have had enough. So what a night here in Panther Stadium. Absolutely wonderful to see. I'm so proud of the guys. Final score, your Panthers 31, the Peters Township Indians 3. What a way to celebrate homecoming. For Morgan Lee, Morg, thank you so much for joining me. I very much appreciate it. I had a great time with you.
This is a blast.
It was, and you couldn't have had a better night to do it. So your final score, 31-3. And also a big thanks to Mr. Lamb here. Great work on the camera. Appreciate the whole crew back here. And we will see you in a couple weeks. We have one more home game left, South Fayette.